I'll be up to press to you at some point, don't worry. Find the last one.
Okay. I am here, yes. Yes, you're going to do a little two-way. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, Steve, your microphone's on. About Kylie, then a sports bulletin, then a little two-way chat.
Involving me?
Yes. Involving me talking with myself. I know what you mean. It could have been with the studio.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But the reason I was telling you is because you're involved.
That's fine, thank you.
Okay. Honestly.
You could have also been telling me because I'm not involved.
Can you get Freddie Snell on the phone?
You've blown the budget on Freddie.
Oh, look at these scores in the National League. 2-4, 4-3, 3-0, 2-1, 3-1.
Then they put a game on telly and it's 0-0.
Yeah, well, Kidderminster and Dorking have already got that. And Oxford Southend, 2 0-0s in the National League today. Another 4-2 there as Gateshead have won. And the shots at the moment are dropped to 9th. They can get back up to 7th with a win only. A draw would keep them in 9th. Yeah. Oh yes, Adrian. A word to our online listeners. This is Rob at the EBB. We're going to kick off with a two-way chat to radio, myself and Steve Gibbs, in the next minute or so, and then we'll get fully underway with our commentary this afternoon on Aldershot Town against Altrincham. That's obviously your level. I don't know if that's about right. Or standing. I certainly am, Adrian, and Steve sends his regards as well.
Indeed.
And right, so Steve, we've got a murky, misty evening, a little bit of light drizzle in the air, as always seems to be the case here at the EBB. We've got some flag bearers awaiting the teams. They'll be out very shortly. Welcome back to the commentary box, and I bet you had to scratch your head a bit when you saw the scoreline on Tuesday night, didn't you?
I did, yeah. But then, as you've said before, it's either very, very good or very, very bad. And yeah, what could go wrong on Tuesday night against that AFC Fylde did go wrong. Some people have blamed the referee, some people have blamed the team selection, the formation, whatever. In the end, I think it was just a good night, a very, very good night for Fylde and a bad night for the Shots. But yeah, they've got a good opportunity to bounce back, but a very tough one against in-form Altrincham, and it should be a fascinating, exciting game.
I think, Steve, that these are the two best forward lines in the league that would tend to be backed. I mean, we will have to leave Chesterfield aside. They're in a league of their own. But aside from them, in Con Clark, Regan Linney Newby and Justin Amaluza, who we know all about here for Altrincham, and of course Stokes, Tarlaj and Barham for the Shots. It's the battle of two of the league's top 4 scorers, isn't it? And
it is.
See who can defend best.
Well, absolutely. And at the moment, the way Aldershot Town are defending, and particularly this afternoon, this evening, minus the captain, the defensive leader, the playmaker almost, the quarterback who starts so many attacks from the back, Cian Harris is missing. It is a lot to ask of this Aldershot Town defence to withstand that combined attacking prowess of Altrincham. And particularly, there's also these individual battles. Statistically, the two best attacking midfielders in the National League, Chris Con-Clark and the championship-bound Josh Stokes, then two attack-minded passing teams, plenty of individual flair. Hopefully, the television cameras are in for a treat.
Well, there you go. That's the thoughts of Steve, Gibbs, Adrian. I concur with the majority of them as well. We're waiting here in the wind and rain for the teams to come out, and we'll give you a couple of updates, I'm sure, before you go off air. Okay, welcome, and it'll be a cosy little chat now between you, Steve, myself and our online listeners who could be anywhere around the country, around the world.
Yeah.
A lot of regulars have said that despite maybe picking up the TV pictures, they're still listening in to us, which is great. Thank you very much, listeners, for your loyalty with that. 3 changes then for Shots. I just want your thoughts. Harry's suspended, Rowe injured, and O'Keefe probably not ready to do back-to-back games Tuesday, Saturday just yet. But in comes Rowlin, Menayis, and there was really no choice in that one with 2 centre-backs out. If Tommy was going to play the way he loves to play,
yeah, he
had to come in, and I'd expect to see him in the centre of the 3. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so, probably. You wonder whether if Tommy is looking for maybe a like-for-like, a ball player, then maybe you'd go for Haji Minoga, but he's probably better suited to that right-hand side where he can run up and down, he can make those kind of almost underlapping centre-back runs and complement Tyler Frost at wing-back. So I think so, and Menais, he is a good footballer, but he's not really in the Cian Harris league when it comes to bringing the ball out and his passing ability.
Frost and Tetek, the other players coming back in. We'll debate those merits of them as we go forward, but the teams are out, and the Shots, in the absence of O'Keefe, who's on the bench, and Harries, who's suspended, and Aaron Jones, who's injured, Laurent Tolaj skippers the Shots, who line up as follows: Van Stappershoef in goal, Harfield, Menayis and Minoga, Glover and Frost, we think, the ring-backs, Tetek and Widrington in midfield, Stokes behind Tolaj and Barham. Alti, I'm reliably informed by Brian Flynn, the Alti media manager, that it'll be a 4-2-3-1. Matt Gould in goal, Eddie Jones, Lewis Baines, Jake Cooper and Lewis Banks, the back 4 left to right. Elliot Osborne and Isaac Marriott, the captain, in the centre of midfield. And then Newby on the left, Justin Amaluzor on the right, and Chris Clark against behind Regan Linney. And yeah, Steve, in Chris Clark and Josh Stokes, we also have a battle of possibly two of the best number 10s in the division as well.
Absolutely, yes. On the league's official statistics website, they are listed 1 and 2, and I wouldn't argue with that at all. Yes, you can say maybe other players get honourable mentions, but 1 for pure quality, 2 for potential and the quality that he has shown this season, then yeah. And to an extent with Altrincham, and this is simplifying it and underplaying the other qualities that they have massively, you stop Chris Clark, you go a long way to stopping Altrincham, but then you forget the likes of Amaluzor and Newby, and in Elliott and Osborne, 2 of the best defensive midfielders in the division as well. So there are fascinating individual battles all across the pitch, as well as 2 really good, stylish, attack-minded, open teams that don't know how to shut up shop, don't know how to really practice the dark arts. I think Altrincham have got the fewest yellow cards in the National League. They're not going to come here and destroy and disrupt. They know only one way to play. So do the Shots. Lump on 0-0, everyone, but let's hope it's a 4-3 or something.
Okay, both teams are in huddles. We're a minute or so away from kick-off. Very good afternoon to Tony Matthews and Julie, who are listening in from Cambridgeshire. Good afternoon to regular listeners Mike Brown and Graham Whitehead. What are we in store for this afternoon? Don't anybody ever ask me for a prediction when commentating on this football team under Tommy Widrington. If it's good, it could be very good, and if it's bad, it could be very bad. But we're about to have another footballing feast here at the EBB, and Altrincham kicking towards the East Bank end in the first half, get us underway. The ball out to the left-hand side, well won in the air by Glover and then taken down by Clark. There's a ball into the feet of Regan Linney, who feels pressure from behind, goes down, wins a free kick. Altrincham try and take it quickly, a little too quickly for referee James Oldham. And we come back. Only time I'm going to mention it, the referee on Tuesday night got some appalling stick, some of it, in my opinion, merited. But we did believe at the time it was Richardson. It wasn't. It was Gary Parsons who'd stepped in. And so apologies for our thoughts on the poor performance of the referee, directed to the wrong referee. OK, free kick then to Altrincham, still inside the first minute. Chris Clark's there, so too is Alex Newby. It's Newby that steps up, shot is wide, Van Stappershoef watches it wide, it will be a goal kick to the Shots, and Shots survive an early set piece, but certainly in the likes of Newby and Chris Clark, you don't want to be giving them too many of those, Steve. You
do not, absolutely no. Newby has he's punished Aldershot Town on this ground before, inspired surely to come back for a late draw some 4 years ago, and yeah, they've got an embarrassment of attacking riches. They've got Ollie Crankshaw, a fine winger who's out for the season with an ACL injury, and they've barely missed him. It's really impressive squad that Phil Parkinson has built.
The ball's in touch, 20 yards or so inside the Aldershot Town half. Harfield's going to take the throw. The Shots yet to really get over halfway line. We are just 2 minutes in, and they normally get a chance in the opening couple of minutes. The sort of the likes they took to good effect at Swindon and 1 or 2 other games, but those chances have gone begging in recent games, and ultimately that's probably been reflected in the final scores. Games I'm thinking of, particularly Bishop Stortford, great chance for Barham in the second minute. Tollage on Tuesday night against Fylde. Those games could have been very different if the Shots had got their noses in front. Here's Altrincham now in their own edge of their penalty area. They're playing it, and it's not the best ball. Frost battling away for it, wins it, and then it's won well back, and then Frost wins it back again. Tetek into Stokes. Stokes holding it up back to goal, goes back to Harfield. Good bit of applause there from the North Stand and from Tommy Widrington as well. Here's Glover. Different player in the last season, and particularly in the last couple of months, deservedly winning the Shots Player of the Month. Here's Menayes well forward, finding Frost. Frost going to put a cross in, It's half cleared. Tolaj left foot. Shoots wide, and he had to snatch at the shot in the end, Steve. His first touch steadied it, but an Altrincham defender appeared on the scene, which meant he had to snatch at the shot.
He did in the end, unfortunately, yeah. I think if he'd been allowed a split second more, he'd have measured that a bit better and got it on target. But Tyler Frost starting at right wing back as expected, and hopefully he'll be able to, when Aldershot Town are in possession, he might be able to either hug the touchline and get forward, or just drop in and augment that midfield and add a little bit more legs into that central area.
Here's Harfield trying to keep the ball in just inside his own half, and he can't. Interesting kind of commentary situation today. First of all, because with a late kick-off, no score updates to do. We have no other games to go over to, which is good. And I think we'll have one, possibly two updates to the Saturday afternoon sports show. And that's it. Other than that, it's you and I and the online listeners and those listening to the BBC Sport app. Not even the NLTV viewers today, because they'll be feeding either nothing or the TNT pictures. As Widrington winning it up towards Barham. Shots win it and lose it again, all in a moment. Linney pokes it down the right-hand side, and that's got way too much on it for Justin Amaluzor. Interesting situation with him. He's had a pretty solid season up at Alty, where they paid, I think, a club record fee for him at the start of the season. And that was good business from Tommy Widrington, bearing in mind Tommy didn't have him in his plans, did he? Yeah,
I think it was a combination of Tommy not really seeing the qualities that Justin has, and Justin wanting to move on as well. And yeah, officially an undisclosed fee, but I think whatever they paid, I think Altrincham are seeing the benefits of it. He's got 7 goals this season, and for essentially a winger, that's a pretty good outlay.
Poor clearance from Van Stappershoef, who lifts his arm up to apologise. Out to the left-hand side, it was behind Glover. It's gone into touch. And Alty have just shaded this opening 10 minutes. Widrington goes to ground, can't win the ball, no foul given against him. Now he's won the ball. Tolaj to Stokes. Stokes tried to play it first time through to Jack Barham, but it just missed him. Barham was right on the shoulder of the last defender, as Steve has mentioned a few times, he often does, and you're going to get your offsides, but equally he's going to get through on goal a couple of times a game, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's all a striker like him needs. He'll take 3, 4, 5 offsides if he gets through once.
Here's Glover battling away to try and win possession, back for shots. Harfield sends it down the line, and the ball's been picked up by Elliot Osborne now, who exchanges passes with Justin Amaluzor. Alty still have it on the right hand side, and they're keeping possession well. One of the things they're renowned for, probably it's good pressure from Widrington. Very nearly got onto a pass around their back edge. The ball's now back with Matt Gould, who I think is the son of Bobby. Grandson, beg your pardon, you're right. Yeah. I was aging him a little bit there. Here's Chris Clark making good progress on the left. Cross in from the left is blocked by Tyler Frost, back doing his defensive duties. And, well, on my weather forecast app, there was no rain predicted before 8 o'clock this evening, but it's sheeting down, albeit very fine drizzle. Stokes thinks about a shot from the halfway line there and doesn't quite get hold of it. Technically it was on target, went through to Gould, but I mean, he didn't so much save it as trap it.
Exactly, yeah, and Jack Barham was, you can never criticise Josh Stokes for any impudence that may enter his mind, but I think Barham was sensing a through ball that he would chase all day.
There's a ball forward from Alty. It is Minoga, that's playing in the centre of the back three for shots. So they got the recovery pace centrally. Menegis is no slouch, that's for sure. I'm not sure how adept he is at getting down the right. There's a ball forward. It's cut out easily by the head of Lewis Baines. And he feeds Osborne, whose ball out to his left is a little too strong. Finds touch. Widrington shapes to throw the ball behind his head, but sends it 5 yards further forward. And the referee spots that one.
The referee has lied to it.
Yeah, he spots that one, James Oldham. And Tyler Frost will take the throw. He's making a couple of yards, needs a bit of movement. Throws it up towards Barham, who's competing there with it. And then Widrington gets the final touch. It goes into touch. I'm surprised how often Aldershot aim for Barham from throws. I mean, he's got a good leap, but so often going to be up against it against taller defenders. There's a ball inside. Osborne flicks it further to the right, and Minogue's done well to win a ball. Oh, Tolaj gets the ball, edge of the area, left foot shot is just wide, and he's had another sighter as Tolaj. The first 2 chances for shots this afternoon, both falling to Tolaj, who is the National League Player of the Month for January, and scored in all bar 1 game, assisted and won a penalty in the other one, so a deserved award winner there. I didn't hear any queries about that one, but just finding his range at the moment, Steve.
Yeah, that was, again, I think he had to take that one slightly early, but yes, of course, he likes to take them early as well. Just catch the goalkeeper, catch the defence off their guard, and that was an excellent setup though. Gould.
Heavy touch by the Alty keeper from a pass back, keeps his composure and sends it up the left side. He was looking for Eddie Jones, but Eddie Jones's ball forward is only diverted into touch for a throw into shots. Widrington gets the ball back from Frost and sends it back to Harfield. I wonder if Aldershot have identified a lot of the goals coming against them they've been conceding straight through the middle, and that's one of the reasons why they put Minogue there today. Interesting decision from the manager. Menayis out to Frost, gets it back again under a little bit of pressure, and he does go back to Van Stappershoef, who's going to kick forward. And I think Van Stappershoef looks a bit nervy to me, Steve, and understandable, because the last time he was on the TNT Sports cameras he came out of his area and got sent off at Eastleigh, and
Indeed.
He's a human being.
He is, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and in these conditions where you're hoping the outfield, in midfield, and not necessarily in the final thirds for the goalkeepers, where with this drizzle there will be a little bit of extra zip on the ball. It will skid through and add a little bit of pace, but that doesn't necessarily make the goalkeepers feel at home.
Here's Tolaj with an early throw inside to Widrington. Widrington composes himself. Nice pass out to the left-hand side, taken down nicely by Glover. He's to the edge of the area, plays the ball forward. And misunderstanding there, I think, between him and Stokes. And Alty get it, and they try and attack very quickly straight through the middle, and it go all the way through to Geordie Van Stappershoef. 10.5 minutes gone. We're going to do an update to radio in a minute, Steve. At some point after that, we'll get your thoughts on the opening 10-15 minutes, whatever it is, by the time we get to do that. Pretty even, I reckon. Shots with the first 2 half chances of the day. Ball up to Tolaj. Okay, here's Glover finding Tolaj. Ball round the corner. Yeah, it's 0-0. Ball forward is poked into touch, and a pretty even start, Adrian. 0-0. Couple of sighters though for Laurent Tolaj, the 4th top goal scorer in the National League. He's got 20 in all competitions. He's had a snapshot just wide, and then he's dragged another shot wide. On both occasions he was forced to take it early, and that would have affected the quality of his shot. As you join us now, the shots have got an attacking throw in. Glover finds it, goes back to Harfield. He's been well shackled, and it looks like Alty have won it back. So yeah, goalless at the moment, pretty even, Adrian, but the shots against the 4th place side bouncing back, and they look nice and sharp and incisive this evening, and don't seem to be showing any ill effects as a result of that 5-0 beating in midweek. 0-0. Ball down the right side for Aldershot is cut out. Frost battles back well to try and win it. Con Clark is bundled over by Widrington. Just a free kick, I think, nothing more. Con Clark's appealing to the referee for something more. And the referee's only question to him is, do you want attention or not? And he says no and gets up, and Alty will have a free kick. So 12.5 minutes in. Alty in possession in their own half. Break off if you need to, Steve, but your thoughts on the opening 12 minutes?
Yeah, I think Altrincham started apace, but then the shots have reasserted themselves, and Altrincham for me have looked a little bit shaky at the back. They look like they haven't quite got a handle on this attacking front three for the shots, and yeah, Aldershot Town have shown some good signs so far, and I think we've already seen the best and the worst of Theo Widrington. That clumsy challenge on Con Clark, losing the ball, but I think otherwise he started really solidly, impressively, and maybe he is in there to marshal Con Clark, maybe not quite a man marking job, but just to stop him running from deep, because that's the thing that midfield needs to help the defence.
Harfield and Tolaj doing well. Again, Altrincham kicked up. What I've seen and noticed about Altrincham so far, when they're under a little bit of pressure, they won't think twice to just put it in touch and regroup. And it's a sensible tactic. It's one that at times perhaps Aldershot have tried to continue to play in those situations. But throw in to Harfield, level with the edge of the penalty area, taken inside to Tolaj, who holds it up, gives it back to Harfield. He tries to get a cross in. That cannons off the back of an Alti player, and then it's headed forward. And Glover wins it in the air. Tetek gets a foot on it. Minoga inside. Stokes, little ball out to the right hand side to Frost. Frost back to Stokes. Can he drag it back in? Clips it to the far post. Tolaj can't get it cleanly. Glover heads it back to Tetek, spins inside the area. Can he get a shot away? Yes, it's probably on target. Cleared off the line. It wasn't strong. And Alti looked to recover. But good work from Menayis. And Tetek, I think, got his shot on target, Steve, but didn't have a lot of power, and Alti had a player back on the line.
Yeah, indeed. It was a good move from the shots, really. A couple of times threatening to open up this Altrincham defence, but in the end, Tetek, the angle was prohibitive. He wasn't able to get a clean sight of goal, but fortunately for Matt Gould, that defender was there helping out, because it was on target and it was an entirely necessary clearance.
Here's Stokes going all the way back to Minoga. Important games for some of these players tonight, particularly obviously in front of the TV cameras, and also a big question, can Aldershot do it against one of the big top four sides? There's a kind ricochet for Harfield, clears his lines, but only as far as Isaac Marriott, and Alti have got the ball again just inside their own half. The game up at Alti finished 2-1 to Alti. It was a good game between two good sides that night, and Alti just shaded it. They outscored Aldershot on the night, but I think it was a pretty solid performance from shots as well, and I thought on the back of that this should be quite a good game and potentially quite even, and it's playing out that way so far. 15 minutes gone, 0-0.
It is, yeah. It's two good footballing teams who only know one way to play, and yeah, you'd hope an early goal in this game will really open it up.
Here's Alti now with Con Clark, ball out to the right hand side. Amaluza keeps it in. He's going up against Harfield. He's down by the corner flag. Harfield gets a foot in, wins it, but can only poke it into touch. And it'll be a throw in to Alti. The only Alti fans are in the final section of the south stand, over on the far side. Probably about 70 or 80 of them, tops. And they take the throw, go backwards, and Stokes has done well to get a foot in, and now he'll come away with the ball as well. Can he find the right pass out to the right hand side? Yes, he can. Frost over halfway, making his way across goal, tries to get the through ball to Barham, but it's well read by Eddie Jones, I think, backtracking, and then Alti play it forward. Amaluza's very slow to react, and Glover gets there first and does very, very well, although Glover ultimately does poke it into touch, and it will be a throw to Altrincham. Yeah, Frost wandering inside. I think he went for the right option, he just couldn't quite thread the pass.
No, absolutely. I think in the end you have to credit the defender there, and yeah, I think it was either Eddie Jones or Lewis Baines who made the interception, but yeah, good defending. Otherwise, Jack Barham was in on goal. And I think to say Matt Gould is the grandson of Bobby Gould, in the middle is another former goalkeeper, Jonathan Gould.
Yeah. Very good. Here comes Tolaj, looking to turn the ball inside, but it's cut out by Osborne. And here's Chris Con Clark running edge of the shot, and shot is spilled by Van Stappershoef and then cleared away by Roland Menayis. First shot of the night of any description from Altrincham in the 18th minute from who else? Chris Con Clark.
Yeah, it was bouncing just in front of Van Stappershoef and on this greasy turf. Whether he tried to hold it or not, I think it wasn't necessarily the worst outcome, that he was able to palm it away from danger, and Menayis was on hand to complete the clearance. And there was a little bit of something and nothing between Linney and Widrington. Widrington ended up on the turf, having been pushed there rather unceremoniously by Linney.
And just to confirm, that's Theo, not Tommy, of course.
Well, yes, indeed.
That would have took some explaining.
It would.
Good win from Frost. Plays the ball up to Barham. Holds it up down the right hand side to Frost. Gets it back from him. Barham down the line looking for Stokes. He might be able to get a cross in. Tolaj is in there. It's half cleared. Tolaj onto the loose ball. Gets it back. Turn inside the area. Alty players against him. Widrington sends it out to the right side to Stokes. He brings it down. Finds Frost. Frost with the cross in. Is that a push on an Aldershot Town player? Nothing given. Tolaj ends up on the floor. Referee points for a goal kick. But in watching his body language, it wasn't far different to what he'd have pointed for a penalty. I did wonder for a slight second.
I think in the end he was pointing for a goal kick rather than a penalty. It would have been a bit more of a flourish if he pointed for a penalty. But yeah, just in that overall move, you could see why Laurent Tolaj has been such a success here at Aldershot Town, and why other teams are casting covetous eyes at him for possibly the summer. An excellent run, showing the desire to get there. Good touch, good bit of skill, with a little pirouette while everybody else was launching themselves around him, and then muscling in, trying to get on the end of another cross. And yeah, he started well, Tolaj, and by law of averages, the next one Gould will probably have to do something about.
That's Steve Gibbs. I'm Rob Worrell. You're listening to National League commentary here from the EBB in the blustery and drizzly conditions at Aldershot. Here's Van Stappershoef going straight down the middle, and the Alty defender goes down. I think he might have just got a flailing arm in his face from Tolaj. Referee didn't spot anything particularly from Tolaj, but I think the Alty defenders just took some little bit of a blow to the face. Steve.
Yeah, it might just be a stray finger landed in an eye that would be really painful, but rightly not deserving of anything else. Referee's just having a word with Tolaj, and Tolaj is pointing down at the Alty defender saying there's nothing really wrong with him. But I think and actually Laurent Tolaj has picked up the game's first yellow card.
I'm really surprised at that, because the referee didn't show anything in his body language. And whether Tolaj has over-protested about that, I don't know, whether it's dissent or whether it's for... He looked almost uncertain about giving the free kick, the ref, and now he's given a yellow.
Yeah, and there certainly didn't seem to be any anger in Laurent Tolaj's communication with the referee. He was just pointing kind of open-handed down at the Altrincham player, saying, well, he seems okay. I didn't do anything, it was a 50-50. But the referee clearly saw something different, and now Tolaj is walking over again, just it seems out of concern to see how he is.
And sorry, who is it Baines, or is
I haven't quite been able to see. He's not shown his number to us yet.
Yeah, but, I think it might be Baines, but
yeah, but whoever it is, Tolaj the concern seems genuine, and the remorse also seems genuine.
Yeah, just had confirmation from Brian Flynn that it is Baines who's down. We can't see his shirt number. What I've been told though by Mike Winfield, who's watching the TV pictures, is that Baines is bleeding quite heavily, so he's going to need some close attention. He certainly didn't look dazed or anything, did he, Steve? I think it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, I mean that does put a different angle on it, but I didn't see anything entirely untoward, and maybe the referee has refereed the injury rather than the challenge, if that makes any kind of sense.
This isn't an official line by any means, but in the opinion of Mike Winfield watching on, that it was an elbow and it caught the upside of his mouth. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's... The elbow made contact with the mouth, I think, is fair. It's not accusing anybody of anything. That's what happened to cause the injury. So Alty take the ball, the free kick, out to the right-hand side. Linney back out. Widrington's not happy about something. I don't know. That's Tommy on this occasion. And there's Amaluza trying to work his way down the right-hand side. Referee wasn't going to give the free kick. Assistant referee flagged to him, and Amaluza, who hit the deck quite quickly there, is adjudged to have been fouled. And talking of foul, halfway through the first half, pretty foul weather as well for the players to deal with, as well as the pressures of another game in the National League.
Yeah, it's definitely an evening game rather than a late afternoon kickoff. This is very much a pretty horrible North East Hampshire evening.
Here comes the free kick in from the right hand side. It's headed away by Harfield up towards Barham, who looks to touch it back, and Glover can get there but only to put the ball into touch. Throw in to Altrincham, who, unless my memory's playing tricks on me, are also called the Robins.
They are.
They are indeed, yeah, sorry. I didn't check that out, it was just sat in my memory. What have we got now? The ball retrieved, 10 yards inside the Aldershot half. Okay, we're going to do Altrincham on the attack, and we're going to do one very quick update to radio very shortly. There's Tetek battling away, can't win it. Amalusor comes up with it, and Altrincham still in possession on the edge of Aldershot's final third. Ball forward, Harfield cuts it out well, volleys it forward, but only as far as Elliot Osborne, who chests it into the path of Marriott. Marriott to Amalusa, ball inside to Clark, back to Marriott. Oh, there's a good steal from Glover, plays it inside to Josh Stokes. Stokes tries something and doesn't come off, and he just delayed a little bit, and Newby took the ball off him. Very unusual for Stokes, that, and Alti overplay it, goes behind, it'll be a goal kick. Just going to update our radio listeners. Yeah, we are 24.5 minutes in, so just over halfway through the first half. It is still goalless. We've just had a lengthy stoppage in play for treatment to Lewis Baines, the Altrincham centre-back, whose mouth, I think, came into contact with Toledge's elbow. Didn't look as if there was anything sinister about it, but Toledge was subsequently shown a yellow card. Altrincham have had their first effort on the game. Chris Clark half-volleying a shot that was parried away by Van Stappershoef in the 18th minute. Prior to that, Tetek, Toledge, and Toledge again have had half efforts for Aldershot, but it's two good front-footed footballing teams who haven't managed to score as yet, but have defended pretty well. 25 minutes gone as you leave us as you join us, for the last time this afternoon, Adrian. A very goodbye to you. 0-0. The ball's now back with Geordie Van Stappershoef, and he bowls it out to Widrington. Widrington back to Menayis, and ball up to Toledge. Nice touch from Widrington, then plays it inside to Toledge, who's got the afterburners on. He's got a bit of space, he's running diagonally across the pitch, threads it across to Glover. Glover's to the edge of the penalty area, comes inside, tries a shot, that's headed away and cleared away by Newby. Headed back by Minoga, taken down by Glover. Good control from him, he's having his shirt pulled, keeps possession, threads it to Tetek. Tetek exchanges passes with Harfield, gets it back, exchanges passes with Stokes again. And now Toledge is in a little tiny bit of room, into Stokes, shot comes in, deflected, ends up on target and is dealt with comfortably by Matt Gould. But Aldershot showing signs again. There's a good turn from Chris Clark, and he's got away from Tetek and Widrington in one move. Threads it down the right hand side, looking for Linney. Linney shapes in, saved at the near post by Jordi Van Stappershoef. And well done. That was a question asked of the Dutch keeper, and he got it done. He made the save. Key moment there, Steve.
Yeah, it was a good, strong save. One that he would probably expect to make low at his near post, but it's one of those that if it squirms through, it embarrasses the goalkeeper. But yeah, good, strong goalkeeping.
Altrincham got it in the edge and cleared away to touch by Aldershot. It'll be a throw, or a corner in fact, to Altrincham. And Aldershot appealing for something else. Minoga at the front of that queue. But it will be a corner to Alti. We're in the 28th minute, still goalless here at the EBB. And it's the left back Eddie Jones that's gone forward to take it, so it'll be a left-footed in-swinger at the East Bank end. Pretty well populated East Bank this evening, given that it's wet, cold, on TV, and Aldershot lost 5-0 in the week. Okay, relatively static in the penalty area, a lot of players in there. Eddie Jones waits for the instruction from the referee, who's just sorting out some pushing and shoving, and says now get on with it. And Eddie Jones takes a couple of steps back, drills it low, and it's cleared away by Frost, I think, taken down by Stokes, who's been shrugged off by Elliot Osborne. He pokes it left to Newby. Newby further left to Linney, who's going to go one-on-one up against Widrington. Comes back actually to Newby. Newby, his ball in is half cut out. Amaluza takes it down, and then it's won well by Tetek, who plays it forward. Tolaj will head it into a space for Stokes, who takes it down on his chest. He's holding off the player, sends it out to the right hand side to Tolaj. Tolaj, is he going to come back on his left? Can he get his shot away? Goes back to Stokes, and the shot is drilled on target. Great understanding between the pair of them as ever, Stokes and Tolaj, but once again, understandably, Gould is equal to it.
Yeah, I think it was a good effort, but once again, same as at the other end, a save that the goalkeeper would expect to make, a rising drive, but Gould was able to take it. The only thing that you might have thought would go wrong was if it skidded through his damp palms, but excellent strength from Josh Stokes there. We've said it so often this season, not only is he an excellent technical footballer, he's got the physicality as well to survive, not just survive, but actually thrive in this league, that he can hold off players, and then he's got the vision to use the ball. And Tolaj again using his strength and pace and just that live wire attitude with which he approaches every game.
Here's Aldershot pressing hard, Alty in possession in their own half, and Baines, who as obviously they've managed to stem the flow of that blood wound. And we're approaching the half-hour mark here. Very tight, very even game. Shots with certainly more half chances. Glover helps it forward and now feeds Stokes, who's getting more and more into this game now. Holds it up, goes back to Harfield. Harfield's up against, well, he tries something. He tries to go past this player there, Lewis Banks, not to be confused with Lewis Baines. He's the right back, can't get by him. Banks puts it into touch, and it's a throw level with the right hand edge as we look at it of the south stand. 10 yards or so, well, in fact now only about 5 yards away from the penalty area. Down the line to Tolaj. Tolaj tries a little fancy turn, it doesn't come off. Ball goes to Stokes. Stokes gives it back to Tolaj on the edge of the area. Again, it's picked up. Tolaj on his right foot. Widrington, right foot, shot is blocked. Yet to get his first shots goal. Tetek onto the loose ball. Feeds it back to Frost. Frost inside to Tetek. Tetek to Stokes. Stokes back out to Frost. Shots playing well without being able to forge a lead here. They keep possession, go all the way back through Menayis and Minoga to Glover. Glover, who switched positions with Harfield temporarily, plays it out to the right side, taken on the chest by Frost, and it just drifts out of play. But generous applause, and the shots showing no ill effects from the midweek heavy defeat to Fylde. Here's Con Clark though, picking the ball up on halfway with a lot of space to run into. He's got Amaluza on the right hand side of him. Amaluza's there now, and what a brilliant recovery, block tackle from Ollie Harfield. Alty have still got the ball with the number 8 and the skipper Isaac Marriott. In comes across from the right, and it's touched down by Menayis. He wasn't sure where to go. In the end, he runs onto his own touch, plays it down the line. It comes off of the Alty player. It's spinning viciously, and it's in touch. It will be a throw into Aldershot in the right back position. And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Aldershot Town's most consistent player comes to the rescue. Amaluza's no slouch. How quick thinking was that from Ollie Harfield? Yeah,
quick in the brain, quick in the feet. Ollie Harfield absolutely superb every week, as you've said so often. 7, 8 out of 10, no hassle every single week. He could probably play centre forward and do a job, but as a emerging centre back, someone who'd played all of his career at left back, and now suddenly he's one of the best centre backs, certainly in this team, but in the whole division. There's very few players get the better of Ollie Harfield.
Aldershot do have to beware Chris Con Clark. He's a magician, and he is finding a lot of pockets of space, like Stokes is, but when he's finding it, he's tending to find a lot of space, whereas Stokes is quickly shut down. Here's Glover coming down the left-hand side. Ball in, touch, wall pass from Tolaj. Now out to the right side to Frost. Great to have Frost back in there in the wing-back position that Tommy Widrington prefers him. Down to the line, squares it across, and it's snaffled at the near post by Gould. technically, I'd say that's probably a shot on target. It's a cross, but it's a shot on target again for shots.
Yeah, I think so. I think considering the way that Tyler played that ball, the way he addressed it as he struck it, I think he was trying to beat Gould at his near post rather than find a teammate in the 6-yard box.
3.69 goals averaged in Aldershot Town National League games this season. TNT Sports cameras in town. It couldn't be, could it, today? It couldn't.
The way the game started, it's shaping up like there definitely is goals in here. It's open, it's entertaining, it's full of passion, no little quality as well. I think it just needs that goal to really take it to the next level. But yeah, I'm not putting my money on a 0-0.
Here's Harfield bursting forward over halfway, finds Tetek. Tetek finds Barham across to Stokes. Stokes finds Harfield in space on the left-hand side. Barham's in the box. Tolaj is in the box, headed away by Baines, and he manages to find an Alty player. And then Alty clear their lines. But Aldershot are getting closer and closer. They're asking more questions as an Alty player, Justin Amalusa, has gone down off the ball, and one wonders if he's picked up an injury there. I didn't see it, Steve, whether it was a bang or whether he's had a little muscle pull.
Yeah, I think it seemed to have happened off the ball. There was certainly it wasn't the result of a tackle. Possibly, yeah, a muscle injury, just in chasing down the intensity of the game, really, because it has been played at 100 miles an hour, full throttle, full intensity for the first 34.5 minutes, and yeah, his departure would be a big loss.
It is going to be a departure. I can see from the body language on the Alty bench, there's a player hurriedly removing his high vis.
But also, if you lose Justin Amaluzor, you can bring on Matti Kossolo, who's also one of the most exciting creative wingers in this division. So,
and has been for some years.
Arguably, it doesn't weaken Altringham's hand. It's just maybe a change that Phil Parkinson would have wanted to make in his own time rather than enforced after 35 minutes.
Yeah, he's a player that I once interviewed up at the Shay after he'd scored as Halifax put Aldershot to the sword that day. Quite a few years at Halifax and the last couple of years at Alty. Very, very good player on his day. And Amalusa might be able to continue here. We said it was going to be a departure, but he's jogged over to the side, and it might well be that he's going to come back on, Steve. So he's
yeah, I mean
the way up the river there.
Yeah, the impetus with which he was jogging off suggested that the injuries, well, it's something he's going to at least try to run off, because he didn't look to be impeded too much as he came out to this near side.
The Alty management team had the tactics board out, and they were cross-referring,
he seems like he's ready to come back on and rejoin the fray.
Okay, here is Harfield in possession, finds Menegis on halfway. Widrington, pretty solid first 36 minutes from Theo, always under the microscope of the Aldershot Town fans. Deserves a bit of credit today, I think, along with the whole team for the way they've responded from Tuesday against very good opposition. And here's the ball inside to Tolaj, turns it back round the corner, but that's misread and a bit of a slip from Stokes. Oh, brilliant win back from Tetek, and then Minoga goes to ground and wins it clearly, and his clearance forward rolls along the touchline and is kept in. Brilliant togetherness, brilliant recovery work for their teammates there, and that's one thing Aldershot have been all season. Even in the games where they've been on the end of a hiding, they've never stopped. There's a good roll and turn from Glover, who receives a bit of contact from behind and has won a free kick for Aldershot out on the left-hand side, halfway through, or halfway inside the Altrincham half.
Yeah, that was two bits of excellent defending there. First, Dejan Tetek, who tried to kept stride with at Chris Conclark, and in the end won it back superbly, and then Hadji Minoga with a thunderous tackle that sent the ball virtually into Aldershot High Street.
Right, Harfield's going to take this free kick then. I think Glover's now, they were possibly going to slip it. Glover takes it, goes straight through to the keeper. He's had plenty to do, Matt Gould, in the first 37.5 minutes, Steve, but none of it particularly difficult.
No, and that, I think the less said about that, the better. That was something that maybe worked on the training ground, but something got lost in the translation into the heat of battle. It was a nice idea over on the left-hand side. One player dummies it, looks like it's all gone wrong, and then the real cross is played in as expected, but the players inside the penalty area were not on the same wavelength.
Here's Glover cutting out a forward ball from Altrincham, but he can only head it straight to Lewis Banks. Plays it up to Amaluza, who looks to be okay at the moment. And 38 minutes gone, and weight of chances, possession territory. I think the shots have shaded that, but they've nothing to show for it other than a clean sheet to the moment. Here's Newby playing the ball inside, finds Chris Con-Clark. That's a heavy touch, and it's cut out by Tetek. He finds Barham, plays it down the line. That'll be easy enough for Baines to deal with. Good strength from Josh Stokes, and the ball runs loose, but to an Alty player. It's touched back from Eddie Jones to Elliot Osborne. He exchanges passes with Marriott. And I like the look of Alty, Steve. Obviously, we don't know which way the result's going to go in this one. Chris Con-Clark's got up a little bit heavy leg from that challenge. We'll keep an eye on that one. But there's no doubt in their quality. As I say, third highest scorers in the National League. One more than Aldershot, in fact. But a far, far better defensive record. There's Con-Clark back heeling it into touch, and a throw in given to Alty, and Widrington rather bemused by that. And
it's whether there was a slight glance off, inadvertent glance off Roland Manaisi's leg as it went through, but certainly there was contact from Con-Clark.
Never mind, Alty have taken the throw. We're in the 40th minute. It remains 0-0. You're listening to BBC Radio Surrey online or to the BBC Sport app. Here's Elliot Osborne clipping the ball forward, taken down on the chest by Amaluza, holding it up under pressure from Harfield. Goes back to Osborne, and Alty come down the right hand side. The ball's taken in his stride by Isaac Marriott, and heavy touch there from Alty, and it will be a goal kick to the Shots, who I think might just be the happier of the two sides, the managers, especially in terms of the response from Aldershot, although I don't think Phil Parkinson will be unduly happy, because his side have kept a clean sheet against one of the top scorers all season as well. So, difficult to judge, really.
Yeah, I think certainly Aldershot Town will feel, if they go in goalless, I think they'll feel they should be ahead. But Altrincham, they've acquitted themselves well. This is a difficult away game for them, regardless of their own exalted position in the table and their own playoff promotion ambitions. But I think both managers will be cautiously content with the opening 40 odd minutes, but both will feel that they need a goal.
I thought you were going to say cautiously cautious there. I've never heard those two words labelled against Tommy Widrington, who on Tuesday night, 3-0 down at half time, down to 10 men, took a midfielder off, put forward on, and played 4-2-3 in the second half. It didn't work out on the day, but you could understand what he was thinking. Here's Alty being well pressed in their own half, and Baines under pressure now from Barham. Barham tries to get a foot in. Oh, it's good skills actually. And Barham and Baines and Newby come away with it and feed Amaluza on the right hand side. He's looking to try and get past Ollie Harfield. It's a great battle between those two today. Con-Clark picks the ball up again, plays it out to Amaluza. 4 minutes left plus whatever's added in the first half. Shots get themselves back in shape. Eddie Jones is well forward on the right hand side there for the left back. Feeds Amaluza. He's holding the ball up now on the right touchline, plays it into Elliot Osborne. Elliot Osborne's almost dispossessed and then runs onto a loose ball on the right hand side. It's blocked by Glover, and Glover claims for the goal kick, saying it got more contact off of Osborne, but the assistant referee and the referee disagree with him, and it will be another corner to Altrincham, who'd love to get their noses in front at this point, just 3 minutes or so before half time. That would be very unlucky or harsh really on Aldershot if they went in trailing, because they've had a decent first half here. 3 or 4 reasonable chances, just wide or just saved. Is a corner, very, very heavy, over past everybody and drifts into touch, I think behind the goal. I think it will be a goal kick for Jordy van Stappershoef, who you know, along with the players under the microscope, let's say maybe Meneghees coming into the side and Jordy van Stappershoef and Theo Widrington, because they're always under the microscope, have had a pretty solid first halves.
They have, yeah. I think they've really acquitted themselves well. A couple of less than impressive moments, but overall, I think the whole team has played well, and certainly those names that you've highlighted, I think, have shown why they're in the team.
There's a good flick on from Tolaj, and Stokes almost wins the ball, but Alti get back. Stokes running over to win it, wins it. Has the common sense to leave the ball, as he knew Marriott could only poke it into touch. And he may have attracted a championship side, signed for him and been loaned back, but he still won't want to miss this opportunity to impress in front of the TV cameras. He had a quiet game at Eastleigh in the 3-0 defeat. Here's Tolaj ghosting onto a ball, drifting inside on that left foot, finds Tetek. Tetek finds Glover. Glover's got a bit of support there from Harfield and Tetek if he needs it. Squares up his man, finds Harfield. Harfield into Stokes, cushions it back to Tetek. Back out to Harfield. Deep cross from Harfield over everybody. Headed down, only as far as Frost. Oh! What a screamer! He only scores screamers! Tyler Frost arrows the ball in with his left foot into the top corner in the 45th minute, and the shots are deservedly ahead here at the EBB. Aldershot Town 1, Altrincham 0.
What a fantastic finish from Tyler Frost. It's one of those that he could have snatched at, he could have mistimed it and sent it blazing down Aldershot High Street, but no. The half volley, rising, fierce drive, left Gould with no chance, into the roof of the net. Aldershot Town get their just rewards for a brilliant first half performance, an enterprising first half performance, full of passion, drive and quality. And now Frost has put the cherry on the cake as we go into 5 added minutes at the end of the first half. Now Aldershot Town have the lead that I think their performance deserves.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. And at 0-0, 3-4 minutes to half time, Alti win a couple of corners, and you wonder, don't you, whether they might just get that sucker punch and put the shots behind. Right, we're going to have, I missed it, did you catch it? 5 added minutes. Sorry, Steve, maybe you said it as well. Sorry.
I did.
4.5 of them left, listeners. And while Aldershot Town would shake your hand on a 1-0 half-time scoreline. My phone's blowing up with a few messages. What a strike from Tyler Frost. And I think I may be guilty, and I don't mind that, of saying that his other rip-roaring strike up at Fylde earlier in the season, I'm pretty sure I said he arrowed that one in as well, but he most certainly did. Not on his favoured foot.
No, absolutely. That was the surprising thing for me, really, that it's not quite that he only uses his left foot to stand on. He's too good a player for that, but he caught that one so sweetly, and it very nearly took the back of the net off. Gould had absolutely no chance.
No, he was never going to get anywhere near that, whereas every other effort so far this evening, cross, shot, effort on goal, had either been weak or straight at him or wide. But that's a fine finish from Frost, as Aldershot just need to settle down now, and Frost himself does the right thing as the ball's disappearing towards touch and just volleys it forward. Here's Tetek onto the loose ball, good touch, first touch, goes past his man, comes back down the line to Frost, Frost inside to Widrington down the line, that's cut out, and then Altrincham put the ball in touch. And Frost, rightfully can just hold the ball there and use up a few seconds. We're nearly 2 minutes into a minimum of 5 added. And Frost takes a throw down the line. What a leap from Jack Barham to win it in the air. Widrington helps it forward. And Widrington competes hard, a little too hard. Free kick given against Alti. And I think the referee wants a little word with Widrington. He just needs to listen and take it in and not show any attitude or dissent. He's also called Tolaj over, who's of course wearing the armband today. And I think he might just be saying, be careful, the intent you're going in with. He's pointed to 2 or 3 other places on the pitch.
Yeah, I think the next indiscretion will be accompanied by a yellow card for Theo. But yeah, that one was a strong challenge, but I think a little bit overzealous.
That's Steve Gibbs on Rob Worrell. We're in the 48th minute of a minimum of 50. The shots have forged a late first half lead here. But Altrincham will be looking to see if they can level things up before half time. Here they come down the right hand side. The ball's in touch for a throw. Not quite sure why we've got an army of people in the... is there some sort of half time?
I'm not quite sure.
On?
Maybe mascot's half time challenge, crossbar challenge?
Must be getting ready for that. And I meant to mention this earlier. Let's just hold off while Alty are on the attack. Glover's won it, clears it forward. And Barham can't quite get there in front of Jake Cooper. And Alty win the ball back. On the edge of the final third, ball in, touch around the corner from Rennie, well won by Minoga, and Stokes sends it out to the right hand side to Jack Barham. Barham making ground down the right hand side. He's got Frost with him. Is he going to try a shot from distance? He is. It's parried away. Tollett follows up, turns it home with his right foot, and doubles Aldershot Town's lead with his 21st goal of the season. Aldershot Town 2, Altrincham 0.
What a counter-attack again from the shots. Brilliant from Haji Minoga to start it. And then Jack Barham, Tyler Frost, using him by not using him. Initially made the overlapping run, then came inside that drew the defender away. A fierce low shot on this skidding turf. Gould could only parry it. And then there was that man to put it home. Aldershot Town gone a long way in the last 5 minutes to put themselves in a great position for 3 points this afternoon, and both teams are adept at scoring in that final 15 minutes of the first half. And you always thought that might be crucial. Whatever the first half plays out, it's who gets to end the first half in the ascendancy. Altrincham score a lot of goals immediately before half time. Aldershot score a lot immediately before half time. But it's the shots who've made that decisive move.
A wonderful goal from back to front. Everything that's good about Aldershot Town. Winning the ball in their own half, quickly transitioning the ball forward. Barham, as you say, asking questions. Yes, I've got players up alongside me, but if you don't shut me down, I'm going to shoot. He shot. Gould could only parry, and Tollett might have preferred it on his left foot, but recognised he needed to shoot quickly. He swiveled, adjusted his position, and poked it home with what we see ever more as a pretty reliable right foot as well. And yet one more reason why the Swiss striker is going to go on and play at a higher level at some point, but not Aldershot Town fans this season. Hurrah to that.
Absolutely, yeah. Whenever he moves on, because undoubtedly he will, as the half-time whistle goes, he undoubtedly will move on and go on to have a stellar career. And we'll look back on this season, if it's only to be this season, on the time when we had the famous Laurent Tollett, the famous Josh Stokes, adorning the red and blue. And they've done it both superbly, and they have been excellent in this first half, and two of the big reasons why the shots go in at the break with a potentially decisive lead.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. An absolute pleasure to watch and to commentate on. And if it had gone 0-0 at half time, I'd have sat here and said to you exactly the same. I thoroughly enjoyed that first half, but it had not just one but two moments of real quality. And if you look at it from an Altrincham point of view, sorry, I'm on air, sir. Could you wait a moment? No, you're right. I will talk to you in just a moment, but we're on air. Thank you. Two moments of real quality from an Alty point of view. Difficult to defend against. Aldershot were so quick on the transition, weren't they?
They were, yeah. And that second goal illustrates it perfectly. They've been a threat on the counter-attack all season. But when you've got Haji Minoga winning it and Jack Barham with only one thing on his mind, he's not looking to build a slow move. He's immediately looking, well, who's alongside me? Because I'm going straight for the opposition penalty area. And this was barely 5 yards outside his own penalty area, but that transition, that break from penalty area to penalty area so quickly, it's difficult for any team to live with it. And in the end, you've got the opportunism, the goal hungriness of Barham, and the opportunism to pounce on that half an opportunity, because he had to turn, he had to steady himself and lash it in. And that's what Laurent Tollett does. He is that opportunist, and it's a joy to watch.
Yeah, a terrific first half of entertainment that's ended with 2 goals in pretty much the 5 added minutes. I think 44th, 45th minute, perhaps the first, and then another one on the 48th minute. Half-time scoreline: Shots 2, Alty 0. No half-time scores to give you anywhere else. They're all finished. Aldershot were dumped down to 9th place today. They will, of course, go 7th again with a win. Let's see if they can get it in the second half. Join Steve and I again in about 10-12 minutes. Half-time. Shots 2, Altrincham 0. Right, listeners, welcome back to the EBB. Truth be told, I'm still finishing my munchies. Steve can't be doing a non-league paper report at this time, are you? Or are they extending the deadline for you? They're holding the back page for you, literally. Very good. I suppose they can cope with one report in late. They can't cope in with lots, and that's why you got the normal 6 or 6:30 deadline, is it? Yeah. Yeah, he's nodding, by the way, listeners. Sorry, he hasn't got his headphones or his microphone on. Terribly unprofessional, trying to do 2 jobs at once. I kid you not. I mean, I kid you, sorry, I bet that's what I do. So the teams are out for the second half, and our referee is just counted to make sure no one's snuck on with 12 players. Shots in their normal home kit of red shirts, red and blue striped shirts, red shorts, and red socks. Alty in a navy blue strip with a yellow diagonal band across the chest. And we're underway for the second half. Aldershot Town 2, Altrincham 0. And Aldershot quickly on the front foot. Stokes plays the ball back to Glover. He's on the left touch line. Plays the ball back to Minoga. He can't quite get his foot on it, but it runs through to Roland Menayes. He's under pressure from Linney. Strokes it out to Frost, who's just inside his own half. Clips the ball down the line. Stokes is running for that. It's headed on by an Alty player as far as Barham, who touches it and volleys. And volleys wide. He touched it up in the air. It came down, I think, off the Alty player, and he thought, I'll have a little swing at this. And it was a swing and a miss, Steve, but another Jack Barham effort in the first few seconds of a half.
Yeah, I think he should have done better with it. It did sit up quite nicely for him. Yes, he had to take it a little bit unawares, but I think when he looks back on that one, it was a nice position. The goal was there for him. It was open, and he should have done better.
Aldershot holding the ball up with Stokes. He's been robbed a bit on this occasion. Ball's up to Amaluza. Quick first touch from him. I thought he threw himself down there against Harfield, but
no, Glover stepped in, and
Glover stepped in, did he?
Yes.
Now, interestingly, I've quite often this season seen that kind of a foul warranted a yellow card, but not been shown by the ref. Quite happy to just give the kick.
Yeah, I think surprisingly so, actually. I think Ryan Glover knew exactly what he was doing. He did step across Justin and knowingly committed the foul. Maybe he's got away with one.
There's Tolaj putting pressure on the Altrincham defence. He had there was a little bit of a swing of an elbow at him there, which came to nothing. Is Minoga holding his position well, and I think he's been fouled, but nothing given. Harfield's got it. Plays it down the line. Barham's coming from nowhere to try and shut his man down. And he forces Jake Cooper to push it into touch. Yeah. Quite simply a player that's never going to be found wanting on his work rate.
Absolutely not. No, he's had a bit of a nightmare start to the second half as Cooper. He was the player who attempted to inflict his elbow upon Laurent Tolaj, and now has gifted Aldershot Town a throw in, which Ollie Harfield is about to take.
Inside to Tolaj. Tolaj has now got something in the face, and he's won a free kick. I think it might have been Justin Amaluza's arm. He puts his hand to his mouth, Tolaj, and the referee has shown a bit of consistency. We haven't really talked too much about the referee in the first half, and that is normally a good sign, isn't it, Steve?
It is a good sign, yeah.
I think he's refereed it well so far.
Has. I think he's let it flow. He recognises that there is a little bit of grease on the surface, that it is two teams who are known for playing good football and will try to do so. Aldershot Town have got far more yellow cards than Altrincham, but they're a physical team, but they're not a sly team.
48.5 minutes gone. 2-0 Aldershot Town attacking free kick on the left side here. Will it be Glover or will it be Harfield? Glover sends it into the far post and through the corridor of uncertainty where Haji Minogue tried to get there, but it just had a little bit too much fizz and curl on it. But not a bad idea, and again it's the faked free kick there. You know that I'm going to take it. No, I'm not. Well, nor am I. Oh, it's you. The excuse me free kick there, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, and at least that one was a little bit closer than the first effort in the first half. But yeah, it did seem to open up that corridor, and Haji Minogue was maybe only less than a yard away from getting contact.
Here's Altrincham in their own half, but under a bit of pressure. And Stokes and Barham have come together to nick that one, but Altu got it back, and then Tetek's cut it out. Another good, solid, reliable game from him. Elliot Osborne takes control and heads back to his keeper, Matt Gould, who had very little chance for the 2 goals. Had done pretty solidly before that with all the moments that were asked of him. Van Stappershoef did make 1 or 2 saves at 0-0. Here's Tetek cutting out a ball forward and feeding the ball to Stokes. Stokes to Glover. Glover up against 2 Altrincham defenders, skips back onto his right foot and sends in a cross. That's headed away. Stokes will battle for it on the edge of the area. The ball's loose. Who'll get there first? It's an Altrincham player, Lewis Banks, I think. He turns inside, and good work from Glover coming back. Minogue's won it. Finds Glover again. Glover down to Barham. He's free on the left-hand side, running to the edge of the penalty area now to the byline, looking to pull it back. Oh, and it's cut out. Nice idea, but now Altrincham can hit Aldershot on the counter-attack as Chris Con-Clark sends it out to the left-hand side to Linney. Minogue's got back, Harfield's got back, Linney's still got it, tries a shot from distance and it's wide via a very slight deflection for a corner, and the shots have got some defending to do. 50.5 minutes gone, shots 2, Altrincham 0. Here's Steve Gibb.
I think Linney did really well there, and he is a striker that runs the full width of the pitch. He's not a target man that plays within the posts. He will give his marker a run around all evening, and I think he did about as well as he could from that position. The angle was prohibitive. That shot, even with a deflection, was only just wide.
Altrincham thinking about a short corner. They're not going to take it. Widrington and one of his assistants trying to get information across to Aldershot players. Meanwhile, referee James Oldham's having a word with the players in close proximity in front of Geordie Van Stappershoef. It's a repeated tactic from a lot of teams in recent weeks to really try and stick a player right in front of Van Stappershoef and not allow him to come and get the ball. Shots fans would like him to dominate more in those situations, but it's difficult when you've got a player on your toes. 2 arms and now Shots player's just gone down off the ball. I don't know if the referee got a clear view of it or not. I think it's Jack Barham. Will the referee take action? First of all, he's going to make sure that Jack Barham is okay. And I didn't see anything clearly myself. My eyes were elsewhere, Steve, did you?
No, I didn't, I'm afraid. No, my eyes were also elsewhere. Barham is now sitting up with his head resting on his knees almost and picking himself up gingerly from the turf.
I think
seems like the referee's just going to...
Maybe he made a run and he was blocked
and
he went down, but referee's not giving any more of it than that. Very difficult job for the referee. In comes the corner, flicked on, and then Harfield gets a good header away at the far post. Again, good defensive work from Harfield because the player marking him was just a few yards out. Here's Menayes heading the ball away, and there is an offside given against Altrincham, and Aldershot's clean sheet survives to the 53rd minute. There haven't been many here this season, Steve, if I remember rightly. Was it just the 1-0 against Halifax, or has there been a couple of others? I'll have to double check in the programme, but certainly only won 1-0 once anyway.
They've certainly not been many.
And there's not been any 0-0s here,
no, and I think the overarching motif has been goals. But yeah, I think Aldershot Town have defended really well this evening against, as we've said, a pretty potent and exciting and versatile Altrincham attack. And at the moment, it's the Aldershot Town front three who are definitely holding sway.
Yeah, they've had 3 clean sheets here. against Kidderminster, Halifax and Woking. There's a ball into the penalty area. Can Stokes get there? No. It's just got a little bit too much pace on it. Again, more bright play from the shots, but nothing to show for it on this occasion. A reminder, if you joined us at half-time, that they scored in the 45th and 48th minute. Frost with the first, and Tolaj turning in the ball right-footed for the second one after Barham's shot could only be parried away by Gould. Frost was a left-foot rasper from the edge of the penalty area. Here's Minogue winning the ball, but Regan Linney holding it up well. Well won back by Tetek, and here's Tolaj, left foot, squares it. Oh, Stokes goes down, and the referee gives goal kick, not giving a penalty and also not offering a yellow card to Stokes, who probably did go down a little bit easily. Steve, your opinion?
I think not a penalty, not a dive. I think Stokes was arriving at such pace, was possibly either a little bit of a tangle of legs, a little bit of nudged off balance, both entirely fair, and in the end the right decision.
Some incredible pressing from shots at the minute. They just had a player either side of the goalkeeper in possession of the ball, and they played out. They still played out, Altrincham. Fair play to them. They've coped quite well for a lot of the time, but obviously they have been picked off. Here they go again, into Banks and back to the goalkeeper. And now Altrincham coming over halfway. And Altrincham now just inside their own half and threading the ball from right to left. Making their way down nicely is Con Clark, picking the ball up, back to goal on the edge of the penalty area. Minogue pushing and shoving away at the back of him, but he manages to keep it and release it. And then Menayis can pick up the ball now and clear down. In fact, he wrong foots his man, and now he'll clear down the line. And that was one that was very popular with the shots faithful. And Christina Rampton, I'm not sure if you know her or not, but she's messaged in to say that she quite likes Steve Gibbs too. It's good to know, Steve, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. For once, I'm lost for words, and I'm thankful that, I think my face is the same colour as Aldershot Town shirts.
I know.
And I don't mean blue.
Well, I'll try and, maybe one day I'll introduce you. Oh, you already know her? Oh, okay. Okay, enough said. Right, back to the business here. 56 minutes gone. Shots 2, Robins 0. And the shots have come out very much in the right mood for the second half, but they do still need to. Another good tackle from Menayis. Go into ground, but it can only prod it towards an Alti player in a little bit of space. And Alti been very good in possession, but they've done a lot of their work in the first 2/3 and not always their best work in the final third. Would that be fair to say, Steve?
Yes, I think it would. And there was another offside there as Aldershot Town cleared their lines. Just the second offside of the afternoon, but I think the play will come back for an Aldershot Town free kick, probably midway in their own defensive half. But yeah, I think that's entirely fair to say. They've looked dangerous, but they've not really exerted that pressure, not really found that final ball that will trouble the Shots defence.
I'd imagine the experts, the pundits, the neutrals would probably say the next goal in this game is crucial. You could argue that, that's great skill from Tolaj, and he's through on the left side, and then he loses possession. Well done, Alti, for winning it back. And it's getting quite slippy out there, isn't it? It's only drizzle, but it's constant. There's Con Clark playing the ball inside. That's been well read by Widrington. Widrington coming forward with the ball and taking on a few players, and then playing it down the left side for Barham to chase. The goalkeeper's out of his area, clears it forward. Glover wins it, heads it inside, but he'll unfortunately only head it to, Stokes makes himself big, gets a foot on it, and Frost follows it up, and he's kept it in play, but Altrincham will play it back to their own defensive final third. Lovely little forward run there from Widrington, who might have overextended something actually. He's just feeling a little bit of pain there, and he's gone down as Aldershot have got it, and Tetek will just thread the ball into touch so that Widrington can get some treatment. It was unlucky. It was, you know, he picked up the ball in a crowded area inside his own half, and he made a bit of a run down the left-hand side. And what a fantastic crowd, considering the game's live on TV and it's the second home game in a few days. 92 Alti supporters, well done to them, particularly given that it's on TV. But how well has that crowd held up today, given the weather, given the 5-0 home defeat?
Yeah, 2,500.
That's
over 2,400 Shots fans, and I think, considering we've got 3 home games in a week, maybe the Saturday was the one that people were going to choose. But then, equally, you could have stayed in, you could have wandered down to your local and possibly watched it. But no, 2,500 here this evening on a pretty filthy foul night. An absolutely huge credit to the Altrincham fans, 92 of them making their way down.
Sorry, Steve, I thought you'd finished. Theo Widrington comes off to generous applause. I'm pretty sure that it's the skipper, Stuart O'Keefe. Now, this is the sort of job you want your skipper coming on for. Actually, 30 minutes left, 2-0 up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Theo looks like he's ready to come back on.
He's going to carry on, is he? Well done. That's the second time we've been fooled today.
Yeah, I think he has been impressive this evening. There's been a lot of debate about who is the best Shots midfield partnership. And for me, Theo does not get into that perfect Shots midfield partnership. I would, all things being equal, everyone being fit, I would have Frost and Tetek. But Theo has certainly acquitted himself really well and shown his quality here this evening. And that run from a very tight situation and then a clever pass down to Barham was again him at his best.
He's still waiting to come back on. Altrincham have got a throw in the left back position. Continuing with the love-in today, and I'll just to pre-warn you, it's not for you this time. Mike Brown says, firstly, Josh was a stumble at speed, because he's watching on TV.
Yeah.
And then secondly, he said, Steve does stats quite well, but you're my favourite, Rob. Okay. Here's Alti coming down the left-hand side, cut out by Minoga. Lovely bit of footwork from him. Can he come away with it? He threads it out to the left. It's a good ball to Jack Barham, who can go one-on-one against Jake Cooper. Into the penalty area, now he skips across, tries a shot, it's low, it's skiddy, it hasn't got the pace and the power, and is dealt with comfortably by Gould. A shame for Barham, he's worked so hard, and his shot led to Tolledge's turn in for the second goal. You never mind him having a go, Jack, because he works so hard to create his opportunities, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think that was definitely worth a go. He just needed to push it a little bit further into the far corner. It was a nice idea. Struck it well, but just needed a little bit of a tighter angle to find that corner. Otherwise, it was far too easy for Gould.
Here's Aldershot winning possession again. Stokes picking it up, wandering out to the left-hand side. Goes to find Glover. Glover's got the overlap from Harfield. Gives it to Stokes. Stokes gives it back to Harfield. Harfield with the cross in, and Glover tries the acrobatic effort, but he was 2 or 3 yards in front of the goal, and he tried to sort of side foot it. And it goes behind, but again, bright play from the Shots, and it's them who continue to ask the questions as Alti prepare their first substitution.
Definitely lots of enterprise from Aldershot Town, and they do deserve their lead. And it finally, whether it's injury or tactical, it looks like Justin Amaluzor's afternoon is over. His race is run, and it's not Matty Costello coming on.
Sam Roscoe.
Sam Roscoe, indeed, yeah.
Not a player I know a lot about, if I'm honest, but you've got a line on him, haven't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, my notes suggest he's played in the Europa Conference League with Linfield. He's 6'5" and he's a centre-back. Now, whether he's being thrown on up front as a emergency striker for the final half an hour, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, we'll see how that one pans out.
Okay, here's Alti on the edge of the final third of Aldershot with Isaac Marriott, and Con Clark picks the ball up. The little Alti magician spreads it out to the right hand side to Banks. Banks to Osborne. Another good build-up play here. Linney trying to good footwork, gets his cross in straight into the midriff of Geordie van Stappershoef, and Linney punches the ground in frustration, and Van Stappershoef takes his time. The clock's ticking on to the 63rd minute here, and Van Stappershoef in no hurry to get things going. Eventually bowls it out to the right hand side to Menayis, and Frost down the line looking for Barham, who takes it down nicely, gets it onto his right foot, looks to run and go past his man. He's gone past him, and He's held the ball up, and now he skids back the other way. Can he get across in? Yes, he can. It's beaten everybody, and it will just drift behind the goal as Glover looked to make ground. And Aldershot are preparing another substitution. And I think it's James Daly we're going to see. And that's the sort of player you want, as defenders are tiring, a direct attacking player. I wonder if today he may come on for Jack Barham, who's given his all. I don't know. I mean, I think Jack will keep going if required. That's for
absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, there's goals to be had in this game, and Jack will want to be part of it. But certainly, yeah, Daly is preparing to come on, and I'm not immediately spotting. Dejan Tetek just got away with a handball there from right in front of the referee's nose.
Okay, well, Alti have now won it back with Newby. Heavy touch from him, though. Tetek wins it, and surely he was fouled. No, nothing given. Alti spread it down the right-hand side to Chris Con-Clark. He's 1-on-1 against Harfield. Tries a shot. That's blocked by Harfield. Good defensive work from him again, and goes behind for a corner away to our right. The shot's ahead, but by no means home and dry. 25 minutes left. Just over, plus the added time, of course. And thankfully with a 2-goal rather than a 1-goal lead, which is always precarious. But even a 2-goal lead can look slim if the opposition nick one back. And here comes the corner, left-footed from Altrincham under the bar and held. Dropped momentarily by Geordie van Stappershoef, who bowls it out to Stokes, who's the furthest forward. And he'll receive the ball up against the number 8, Isaac Marriott, and plays it off him and into touch and takes the throw quickly, goes back to Menayis, and here comes Tolaj. Oh, just steps inside his man, slots the ball into Barham inside the penalty, a heavy touch from him. The ball will be picked up by Eddie Jones. He blocks it again, Barham. Alti playing it, trying to play it out from the back, but caught out on the skiddy surface, and it goes behind for a corner. And well, James Daly isn't going to come on into the fray just yet. Another wonderful game. I don't envy you today, in a good way, picking the Aldershot Town man of the match. I think there's a few candidates. There's probably very few in the 11 that ruled themselves out with 25 minutes to go. Would you agree?
Yeah, I absolutely would. Yeah, I'm not going to commit to anybody yet. I think there are a couple that are outstanding in a very, very good group. But yeah, there's still plenty of time for someone to claim the title.
Glover takes the corner short to Tetek, gets it back. Now a ball into the penalty area. Stokes is there, can't quite pull it across. It just fizzed off the surface. It will be a goal kick to Altrincham. And I got it right. Jack Barham's coming off, and coming on is James Daly for I think his 3rd now substitute appearance for the Shots. But generous applause for Jack Barham, who's not scored today, but he's been a pest as always, Steve.
Yeah, I think he's more than played his part in this excellent, exuberant Aldershot Town performance. As Tommy will of course say, strikers are judged by goals, but Barham more than has played his part. I think he's been excellent. He's deserved a goal for his willingness, for his hard work, for his selfless running, really, as much as anything else. But yeah, excited to see Daly come on and see what he can do.
Here's Linney trying to hold the ball up with Minoga in close contact, and then a teammate comes to Minoga's rescue and just nicks the ball off him. Now the ball's played out to Glover. I have to say his touch control and quick passing, his quick feet, and Glover's and Harfield's are a pleasure to watch. There's a ball into Tolaj. He holds it up, but he has just been dispossessed on this occasion. There's a clip ball over the top to Con-Clark, who's not been given offside. He's got the ball, tries it on his right foot, then his left, and then it's won again by that man Harfield, who in that period of the match where Steve's starting to think about his man of the match has just put another notch on his point. Here's Stokes getting the ball, holding it up, twisting one way, then the other, goes back to Tetek, and Tetek back to Glover. There's a slight feeling about the fact that as Aldershot, Steve, they want to play on the front foot, they want to go and get a 3rd and put the game pretty much to bed, but equally they do look to be just taking the sting out of it here and there and keeping possession, which does make sense from time to time.
It absolutely does, yeah. There's no need to go gung-ho for a 3rd goal, because at the moment the 3 points are staying in North East Hampshire as it is.
Good ball out left field from Tolaj into the path of Glover, gives it back to Harfield. Harfield, is he going to try a shot? Oh, it's just over. And I'm telling you now, listeners, I'd have overruled Mr. Gibbs and given it Harfield anyway if he'd put that one in, but he didn't. Still awaits, of course, that first shots goal of the season, Ollie Harfield, but you couldn't blame him for having a go there, Steve.
No, absolutely. I was shouting, go on, Ollie. We were right behind that one, and it fizzed inches over the angle of post and bar, and yeah, he's not scored for the shots, but he hasn't been much closer than that.
So Cosilo comes on, but he comes on now for Newby, and some very, very good National League players in Newby and Amaluza have gone off this afternoon. Cosilo will look to exploit in these last 21 minutes or so some tiring defenders. Is Gould clipping the ball out to the left from the goal kick, and nicely controlled out there, and played back to Cooper and Jones, and now the keeper Gould all involved. They'll continue with their approach, I think, Altrincham, as they play the ball out to the left hand side. It's measured, it's also keeping possession, and giving the ball to this guy, Chris Clark, but Aldershot have cut that one out. Widrington threads it out to Stokes, holds it up and goes back to Harfield. Harfield out to Glover. Glover inside to Tetek, who just gets it, gives it, and just goes about his work quietly. No fuss, no drama, no ego, but what a wonderful pivot he is in the middle of midfield.
He is, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I'm still trying to work out the Altrincham change in formation from the first substitution. It looks like they've gone to a back five, or more likely a back three, with three centre backs, of which Roscoe was one to come on, and they've gone to wing backs and just pushed people forwards.
Clark finding a bit of space into the area. He might find the substitute squared across. Well, I'm not sure who Lewis Banks saw, but he could have been shooting, and he pulled it back across goal to absolutely no one. Here's Daly trying to get a key touch on the ball, but it will be a throw in to Alty. Still the sheeting drizzle blows around the stadium, much as it did on Tuesday night, but we've got a very different scenario. By this point on Tuesday night, Aldershot were 4, possibly 5-0 down to 10 men. But they've shown yet again, Steve, whatever happens in terms of the end result, that they just brush it off, dust themselves down and go again, and they've gone down to good effect. They've come back this week.
They have, absolutely, yeah, but quite what that, the Altrincham right back Banks, what he was doing, you'd think it was on his right foot, he's got the angle, have a shot, but he slid it through the 6-yard box to absolutely nobody, and much to Aldershot Town's relief.
With nobody there, you have to question why he didn't shoot, but maybe he'd seen something.
Maybe it's a lack of confidence, or he thought there must be somebody bursting onto the end of this, but yeah, you've got to have a shot in that position, I think. And it does look, actually, I think I've finally worked it out. I think the number 4, Baines, has moved out to left back, and Eddie Jones has pushed forward into midfield. Right. So I think it just frees up some of those more attacking midfielders to really push onto the Aldershot Town back 4.
Monaga goes to ground. Yeah, sorry, Steve. Monaga goes to ground, wins the ball, but can only divert it into touch. Altrincham take the throw quickly and play it out to the right-hand side, where Banks takes it down, goes back to Clark. His ball forward's almost cut out, and then Harfield does get hold of the ball for shots, clears it forward, and it'll be taken down on the chest, but there's good work from Lewis Daly up against Cooper, who, as you say, has had a difficult second half.
He has, yeah. It's a couple of highlighted moments there that he won't want to look back on his highlights reel, but yeah, I think also credit there to Daly, who could have been penalised for a grab of the shirt, got away with that, and then capitalised upon it by ushering the error from Cooper, and Aldershot Town have an attacking throw in, which Ollie Harfield is about to take about 5 or 6 yards inside the Altrincham half.
Coming together, nothing given. Oh, there's a collision between Widrington and the Altrincham player. I think it was a genuine attempt to go for the ball by Widrington, but he clearly headed the Altrincham player rather than the ball, and it's definitely a free kick, and we'll wait to see whether the referee, I think he will give a yellow to Theo, because he pretty much gave him a last warning before. Let's wait and see. He's just checking that Isaac Marriott, the Alty captain's okay first. And then, well, Widrington's done the right thing and get himself the hell out of there.
Definitely, yeah. He's put himself as much distance between the referee and himself as he possibly could. But I think the referee was already talking about the totting up process in the last conversation with Theo. But no, I think he's adjudged there that it was, and probably rightly, that it was an honest attempt for the ball. Overzealous, perhaps, but honest attempt.
Here's a ball over the top from Altrincham, one in the air by who else? Ollie Harfield, and then played down the line and into touch by Ryan Glover. You do wonder, unless he's protecting a knock or an injury, you would expect probably O'Keefe to come on for Widrington, who's had his hamstring trouble and he hasn't done too many 90 minutes. Glover does well to get on a throw, play it down the line. Daly will chase. Can he keep it in? No, it's just gone out. Yet to have his first moment, really, for shots, James Daly. We're going to see Dior Angus for Altrincham, the number 14. He's coming on, and Regan Linney has gone off. So 3 of the front 4 have gone off now. And only Chris Conclark remains. Is Minoga picking up the ball well, plays it forward to Tolaj, holds it up on halfway, gets the ball under control, skips back now on his left foot, needs to be a bit careful. He's got 2 or 3 Alty players around him. He loves to carry the ball himself, Tolaj, but he eventually gets rid at the right time. Shots go back to Van Stappershoef. Daly jumps but can't win it. Tetek jumps but can, feeds Widrington, who sends it out to the left-hand side to Glover. Josh Stokes making himself available as always. Ball down the middle, played through from Harfield, is cut out by Elliot Osborne. He read that really well, and he feeds on this right-hand side Banks, who gives it to Clark, and then the ball forward. Well cut out again by Haji Minoga. He's so quick thinking and so quick to move, and there's a ball over the top. Tolaj, well, hands on him, but Daly's taken it down. This is the sort of opportunity he'll want. Dead central, advancing towards the edge of the area, tries a shot, on target, saved above his head by Matt Gould. And that was probably his first real moment in an Aldershot Town shirt there, Daly. Got his shot away, got it on target, Steve.
Yeah, rising, but I think always quite easy for Matt Gould. But yeah, good impetus, good driving run from Daly. Hopefully the promise of what's to come.
Steve Gibbs, I'm Rob Warren. You listen to BBC Radio Surrey online or the BBC Sport app as Altrincham look to respond here from, well, foul given against Harfield for a foul on Angus, and it will be a free kick to Altrincham. We are in the 77th minute here, so 23 plus whatever is added, and Altrincham, well, not been able to forge their way back into this one yet, but they know Aldershot don't keep many clean sheets, and I'm not sure if you were just passed information or asked a question.
Just confirmation of the Eastleigh situation with Richard Hill leaving.
Yeah, okay, ball comes in, Van Stappershoef rises and collects. Yes, Richard Hill has left Eastleigh, who've been on a terrible run. They're plummeting towards the lower reaches of the National League, and they find themselves in that scrap with many other teams to make sure that they survive, and that was not the expectations with the budget that Eastleigh had this season, that's for sure. Here's Cooper having a better moment and heading the ball back to Gould. So far, so good in this second half for Aldershot Town, who led thanks to 45th and 48th minute goals, and to be honest, have been looking more likely the team to score next in the second half, but it remains 2-0, and we've got 12 and a half minutes plus added time left. We're going to see Kwame Thomas on for the shots in a little while, and they've won the ball with Tetek again. He feeds Tolaj. Tolaj gets the ball out of his feet, wins the foul. He goes down. Referee may get his card out here for an Altrincham player. I think he does. Not sure if it's Baines, is it? I can't quite see the back of his shirt in a minute. He's wandering back. I think it is. It's Baines. Yellow card for Baines then for Altrincham. We're going to see Kwame Thomas coming on, and Widrington coming off. So that's Josh Stokes back into the middle. Tolaj into the number 10. And Kwame Thomas joining Daly up top, something like that. Maybe, yeah. And yet again, there you go. One more indication as the way that Tommy Woodington thinks. 2-0 up, 12 minutes left. Midfielder off, forward on. Stokes back to midfield. He's so, he's got the quality to play as a 2 in midfield.
Oh, he has, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, he's got the work rate and the quality and the physicality and the tenacity and everything that you need to be a central midfielder. Just an ultra creative and technical one. But, yeah, Aldershot Town looking for that third goal. I think they have got a degree of control over this game.
Ball over the top. Daly looks interested but can't quite get there. Gould comes off his line and bowls it out very quickly to Cooper, who makes his way up to halfway now, over halfway. Daly snaps in to try and win the ball back. It goes right to Banks. Banks inside to the skipper, Marriott. Chris Conclark still drops into that gap between the Banks and still finds space. He's got space now if they can find him again. It's a ball over the top. Glover should be equal to that. He's lost out on the first touch. Harfield comes to the rescue. Stokes holds the ball up with his chest, lifts it forward to Kwame Thomas, who lifts it over his head acrobatically. Gives everybody in the ground a little bit of a laugh there. He was about to lose possession, but he wasn't going to do so without at least diverting the ball further forward. And he's had his moments recently. 2 goals in the last 3 games. There's a ball out to the right-hand side for Altrincham, headed back by Banks to Chris Conclark, the Irishman who's been superb. And ball forward, cut out by Stokes, feeds it to Tolaj. Tolaj wanders out to the right-hand side, shakes off a man there. He's been caught from behind. He thinks, no, nothing given. Altrincham have won possession back. Aldershot not quite making the most of that turnover of play. They have done so well today, particularly on the second goal. Wonderful moment in the transition. I did send a photo over to Aaron McLean, who's here with TNT Sports from the programme. Very youthful looking Aaron McLean. And he's replied to say, yeah, and they've spelt my name wrong too.
Oh, no.
Never mind. Ball over the top from Conclark. And there's that handball. Must be handball. Free kick to Aldershot. Mike Brown says, Dayan Tetek quietly and efficiently goes about his role. Unsung hero. Theo has had a reasonable game too. Ollie, man of the match. Good points, Mike. Yeah, and you are watching as well. I'm glad to say. So you're not making those assumptions based on listening to the commentary. We are 8.5 minutes away from the 90. And we'll wait and see what's added, and we'll wait to hear who Steve Gibbs picks as his man of the match. Ball forward from Harfield, controlled well by Daly, who keeps it in play as well and goes back looking for Glover, but Banks steals the ball, plays it inside to Elliot Osborne. Osborne a little bit shorn of somewhere to go forward with it, so he has to turn and go backwards and then holds his arms out wide and says, come on, I need better options than that. Here's Stokes battling away in midfield. Tetek wins it, but for the first time, I think, all evening, gives an aimless pass away. Here's Conclark getting the ball, twisting, turning, beats Tetek, he's away from him. Stokes comes over, he can't get away from him. Stokes has won the ball, back onto his right foot, inside to Tetek. Touch and control much better. Here's Glover, arrows it across to Menayis. Good, solid game from him as well. Feeds Frost, the first goal scorer this evening. Here's Kwame Thomas battling away against his man, and illegally, you can just see them having a little bit of push and a shove at each other, and Thomas's was a little bit more blatant, Steve, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a little bit harsh. I think Kwame is entirely entitled to go for that one, and it was a physical challenge, but it was in the player's back. He wasn't pushing him.
Here's Alty coming down the right-hand side. Banks is almost to the corner, to the goal line, down by the corner flag. And Clark involved again, and a loose ball picked up by Costello. Wall pass from him on the edge of the area, but Aldershot have bodies back to win it. And then Alty win it back with Dior Angus. Chris Conclark turns it round the corner. Oh, lovely play from Harfield again. Buys a bit of space, threads it down the left. It won't find an Aldershot Town player, but it's relieved the pressure for now. And Alty perhaps having the better spell of possession they've had in the second half, as Elliot Osborne tries the ball over the top. Cossilo goes down, feels he was just blocked out of it. Ref not interested. And I want to make a word for the comment for the referee. I think the referee on Tuesday night, who turned out to be Gary Parsons, not Richardson, came in for some of the heaviest criticism that I've ever heard and seen. He got the worst reception coming off the pitch at half-time and full-time of any referee I've ever seen, bar maybe Gavin Ward a few years ago. But this one's been pretty solid throughout, and he's had a good game so far, James Oldham, with only 6 minutes left. His shots in possession. Glover, ball round the corner, finds Harfield. Harfield holding it up. Looking to get past his man. He wriggles into a bit of space, but he just overruns it. But he gets the generous applause anyway. And he'll start his journey back to the left centre-back position, where he's being covered momentarily by Glover, who says, "Get a breather, son." And he needs that breather because he's been superb today.
But he's also a superb athlete, so he probably doesn't need it.
Absolutely. He's back into position now. Here's Cossilo out to Banks on the right hand side. Banks wandering in. He's looking to get away from Glover and Daly. And Glover's challenge on him is a little bit cynical, and I think he's going to get a yellow. He's going to get a yellow card, Ryan Glover. He's cramping up again, and having a go at the ref, but I can't disagree with that. It was cynical from Glover. It's the second time he's done it, and the other time the ref only gave a free kick.
Yeah, it was a push
of his afternoon.
It was a push in the back and deserving of a yellow, but that was Ryan Glover's final contribution to the afternoon, and he's been replaced by Maxwell Mullins.
Yeah, and at the moment, Mullins is going into the defence at the moment, but we'll wait and see whether he's coming on as a straight swap for Glover. I think he can play in that left wing back position. Free kick's cut out by Tetek, chased down by Tolaj, but he won't get there first. Eddie Jones will. We're in the 86th minute now, halfway through it. Gould's well out of his goal. Eddie Jones tries the ball over the top, up towards Dior Angus. He can't get it on the first bounce. Minoga clears his lines. That one's bouncing awkwardly, and James Daly might get onto it. Lovely first touch. Might get another shot here. Does. Parried, and it will be cleared away by Alti. Terrific stinging shot there from James Daly, just as he had 10 minutes before. And this one drawing an excellent save from Matt Gould, who keeps his side with faint hope still of getting back into this one. He's still trailed by 2-0. And we've got 3.5 minutes just over left before we find out what's added. How Aldershot would dearly love not just the 3 points, but a clean sheet as well. Minoga tackles, can't win it, but Harfield follows up, smashes it out to the left-hand side. Kwame Thomas chases, but can't get a touch. And one or two people get up here and head for the exits. They'll have their reasons, of course, but after a response like this, after a performance like this, and hopefully from Aldershot Town's point of view, after a win like this, you think you want to be there at the end to clap every player off the pitch? Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a performance deserving of a thunderous round of applause if they can continue this if they can hold out for the last couple of minutes. Good turn by Dior Angus, but he was then robbed by Minoga, who's fed Stokes, who's fed Daly, who's going away down the left wing. But he's just pulled the number 2, Lewis Banks, back in an effort to gain an advantage down the left side, and the referee's given the free kick to Altrincham. Again, no qualms from me on that one. There was a few moans and groans from the north stand and the east bank, but I think that's just partisan supporting, isn't it? It is, yeah. I think if it's anything less than a blatant foul, and even then there'll be some people that will claim black is white, but no, certainly I think that was a fair judgment from the referee. Here's Alti with that man Chris Con-Clark, sending the ball out to the right hand side, taken down on the chest nicely by Lewis Banks. He's going up against Frost now, who's actually come out to be left wing back, with Mullins the right wing back. And here is Elliot Osborne wriggling and squirming inside the penalty area, goes back to Banks. Banks is looking for a pass rather than a cross. Frost gets a foot on it. Chris Con-Clark manages to square it across, and it's missed at the far post by, of all people, Jake Cooper. and it comes off an Aldershot Town play and goes behind for a corner. Slightly scrappy from the shots in the last few minutes, Steve.
It has been, yeah, and certainly
tired.
If that had been anyone other than Cooper, a striker by chance, then I think that would have been a goal.
There's great work back from James Daly to win the ball and fire it up deep into the Altrincham half, where Gould will just keep it in play by the left touch line. Up as a sweeper keeper now. He feeds Marriott. Marriott out to the right hand side. Banks wins it. Good headed winner from Haji Manoga. Another one who's done everything right tonight. Another one that's caught the eye. And again a free kick given against Kwame Thomas for a slight bit of contact on the number 8 and the skipper Isaac Marriott, who's feeling a touch of cramp himself. And Alty quickly get the play underway again with a free kick inside their own half. From what he's seen on the TV coverage, Mike Winfield says Tolaj possibly for man of the match. Apart from his own impact, he's been constantly talking to all the players. Here's a shot from edge of the area, it's wide for Altrincham. Been talking to all the players, positioning them. Great captain's performance all round, in my opinion. Good spot from Mike Winfield. And I don't doubt that Tolaj will make the little group that Steve Gibbs is selecting from. Will he be Steve Gibbs man of the match or not? We'll wait and see. They'll be naming the man of the match on TV soon, and you may or may not get to hear it, but I know that won't affect your opinion, Steve, will it?
It will certainly not, no. I'd just like to thank Mike for giving my one of my key candidates away.
5 added minutes here. Shots 2, Alty 0. Can the shots see this one out? Is Frost nicked there? He's lost it, won it, got it back. Here's Daly. Daly deflected pull into the path of Tolaj. He's going forward on his left foot. He's lost the ball, and Altrincham have won it back. And Aldershot still go looking for a third goal. So many teams would just be saying, let's get into a low block these last 5 minutes and just keep Alty out. Not Aldershot, not under Tommy Widrington. Still want a third, even though we're 40 seconds into a minimum of 5 minutes added. Here's Stokes up against Dior Angus and pokes the ball into touch. Another throw to Alty. This is a together Aldershot Town team. They got punched, battered and bruised on Tuesday night by Fylde, but they've got up off the canvas and they've responded superbly this evening against Altrincham, who are in now on the left side. They look to get the cross in to the far post, and Dior Angus gets his head on it, but he can't get any power, and Van Stappershoeve, following him across the goal, arrives just in time to catch it cleanly. A bit of poetic justice there for Van Stappershoeve, who, like Widrington, has come in for a lot of stick, and he's had his night tonight, along with the rest of the team. Ball through the middle, headed out to the right-hand side. Tolaj will shut down Lewis Banks, and we are 1 minute and 40 seconds into a minimum of 5 added. Aldershot Town 2, Altrincham 0. Is Chris Clark up against Stokes. Can't beat him, but manages to find Matty Costello. Costello out to the left-hand side to Eddie Jones. Jones just being pressed back. Aldershot have got Kwame Thomas and James Daly up top. Tolaj just taking a central position. a la Stokes. Just wants to see the ball cross the line. Here's your official Aldershot Town man of the match. Tyler Frost has got the man of the match for the sponsors, and shortly we'll get to hear of the TV man of the match, and we'll also get to hear of Steve Gibbs man of the match, and they probably are the only things to be decided here, barring a collapse from Aldershot in the last 2.5 minutes. Here's Harfield motoring forward over halfway, plays the ball up to Frost. Just in front of him, it's poked into touch by Lewis Banks. Harfield will saunter gently to get the ball back to take the throw. Aldershot, Steve, are having their day. They're having their day live on TV, and there's a poetic justice to that. Poetic justice as well, because it all went horribly wrong last time away at Eastleigh. Van Stappershoeve sent off in the first half. There's a high foot from Daly, but the ball, no foul given. The ball's in touch. Aldershot will have another throw as we go into the fourth of the 5 minimum of added minutes. Steve makes some final notes on his match report to the non-league paper. Colin Hayden in Tenerife says, great performance, particularly after Tuesday's game. Thanks for the commentary. Well done, the 2,400 shots for turning out on such an awful night. Thank you, Colin. Here's Mullins feeding Tolaj, holding the ball up, protecting a 2-goal lead now. Goes back to Mullins. Mullins inside to Tetek. Tetek squares the ball to Ollie Harfield. Tetek has given one pass away, in my opinion, all night. Been superb as well. They've all been on their game. A collective team performance, and it's going to result in a home victory against the 4th best team in the National League, who had their own designs on closing in on Bromley and Barnet, who've stuttered a bit of late, but Aldershot still in possession here. Across the back 4, up the right-hand side, Tolaj inside to Stokes, Stokes to Tetek, Tetek out to Mullins. Mullins skips inside his man and then threads it forward towards Tetek. He's poked a bit of contact from an Alti player, but picked up by Menayis, and he goes back to Van Stappershoef. We've got 45 seconds left, plus any added time at the end of added time. The ball's in touch. It will be a throw-in to Aldershot Town, who are going to move back into the playoffs this evening. It was a day when a lot of their playoff rivals won, but Aldershot have gone about their business in the right way. They're going to get the 3 points, and they are just 30 seconds away from a precious home clean sheet, just their 4th of the season. The ball's gone forward into touch, throwing in the left back position to Altrincham. Still the drizzle comes down, still the wind blows it from the High Street end up towards the East Bank end. James Daly pokes the ball in touch, and we're seconds away now from the final whistle. What a response today from the shots. There it is, Aldershot Town 2, Altrincham 0. And possibly Steve Gibbs, given all the circumstances and given the opposition, one of the most satisfying and complete home performances of the season for Shots.
I think complete is exactly the right word. From the game plan to the execution to the finishing to the final whistle, absolutely exemplary from Aldershot Town. I think Tommy Widrington got the game plan exactly right. He recognised that Alti play out from the back and they need to be pressed. Not allowed time on the ball. Thereafter, Aldershot Town's attacking quality, flair, exuberance, all shone through, but the prime quality for me has been the cohesion and the work rate. And my man of the match exemplified all of that, and he led by example. An excellent point by Mike Winfield in pointing that out. The hard work, the pressing, and the thrilling ability and the finishing, and he typifies every Aldershot Town player this afternoon, but the one outstanding individual for me was Lawrence Tolaj.
Brilliant stuff. So it is Frost for the sponsors, it's Tolaj for Steve. I would give it to Ollie Harfield just, and TNT Sports have found someone else, and they found the man who I just said had given away one pass all night.
Dejan Tetek.
Yeah.
Absolutely, all of those have been excellent, and all of those can lay justifiable claim. And I think that shows how good Aldershot Town have been this evening. When you've got players in the defence, in the midfield, in the attack, that someone like Tetek, yes, he's got praise from us. Unfortunately, yes, he's been picked out by TNT, but he does the dirty work. It's not the sort of thing that gets noticed often, but he is deservedly so, and he played a huge part in that team performance. I just think, for leading by example, and for it typifying, encapsulating all of the qualities that Aldershot Town needed this evening, in pressing from the front, defending from the front. It's Tolaj for me, but 1 to 11, not that exists anymore, but goalkeeper to striker, they have been excellent this evening.
They often say to win a game of football you need 7 or 8 players on at least a 7 out of 10. I couldn't give an Aldershot player any less than 7 tonight. You'll probably have that choice, but if you saw any 6s or 5s, I'll be shocked.
You're not going to.
No. Stats in from Keith Deere, as ever. Aldershot 14 shots in total, 10 on target, 4 off. An Alti 4 on target and 2 off. An Alti with 58% possession, but Aldershot so much better with their 42% possession. I can tell you, listeners, that Lauren Tolaj and the TNT Sports Man of the Match, Dejan Tetek, are doing the post-match over in the middle of the pitch there. And the TNT Sports viewers will be finding out what I found out the other week. I was expecting a foreign accent with Tetek, but it's not. It's a very English accent. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking to him myself yet.
I think he was he born in Oxford?
I think so, yeah. And I'm just to say that for BBC Surrey, unless Sam Carter grabs him for the club, I'm going to speak to Ollie Harfield, who did everything as part of a clean sheet and gave Aldershot so much going forward as well, in tandem with Glover. Menayisi was superb, Manoga was superb, Van Stappershoef did everything asked of him. Theo Widrington had a really solid 65-70 minutes. Tetek, well, man of the match for the TV cameras, so that tells you all you need to know. Barham, an absolute pest. Tolaj with another goal. Frost and Glover we've waxed lyrical about already. And Josh Stokes quietly went about his business in the way that he does.
As quietly as Josh Stokes ever does anything.
Quietly and effectively too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it was a superb all-round team performance, and that's pleasing. I think, as I said, I think Tommy got the game plan exactly right. But against a team like Altrincham, it's all well and good to have the game plan in your head, to put it down on paper, but then the players have got to go and execute it, and they've done. I bet quite a lot of money that they've implemented that game plan pretty much to the letter, and it really shows that a team like Altrincham, where we came in fearing their own prolific attacking three, they've been left looking very much second best.
According to let me just go back, Mike Brown, in summary, a great team performance, and that's pretty much what we've just been saying here. We'll have a look at the National League table, because we're into the I wouldn't say the home straight, but we're into the final third of the season, not too far off 3/4 of it played, and it's looking healthy again for the Shots. The only side in the playoffs, of course, with a minus goal difference, but they have trimmed it from -6 to -4 today. They got a rare clean sheet, just the 4th of the season at home, Steve. Chesterfield, home and dry, 20 points clear of Bromley. Chesterfield have a staggering 81 points already with 13 games left. Bromley 61, Barnet 59. Barnet come here on Tuesday night. Solihull are 4th with 53. Altrincham 5th with 52. Oldham, momentum on their side now, 6th with 52. And Aldershot Town 7th in the final playoff position with 51. That's a point ahead of Gateshead, having played 2 games more, to be fair. And a point ahead of Halifax, who've played a game more than Aldershot. And then there's a 6-point gap down to Hartlepool in 10th, Steve. So my question to you, if we assume Chesterfield have won it and Bromley and Barnet at very least are going to make the playoffs, cheers Brian, would you concur that now it's 6 teams for 4 places for the playoffs, barring any miracle runs from the teams below that?
Yes, I think so. I think it's shaping up to be an excellent playoff race, and Aldershot Town are right in the mix, as obviously are Altrincham still, but it's Aldershot Town continue to exceed expectations, continue to be one of, at least, the National League's great entertainers, and that's 2 things that the Ebb Stadium has not seen for far too long. And that excitement, that entertainment, that exuberance, as typified again by Tolaj, who plays like a street footballer. He is a bit of a raging bull at times, but he's got that finesse as well and that quality, and yeah, his teammates have really backed him up this evening, and he can be a proud captain.
Absolutely. Aldershot Town have scored the 39th and 40th goals in the National League today to complete the fixtures with a 2-0 win at home to Altrincham. Listeners, nothing else to go to radio. I'm going to leave the lines open here. I don't know what time the lines shut down. But I'll leave it open for now. You may get post-match with Tommy Widrington and possibly Ollie Harfield to follow. If not, look out for some clipped. Cheers, mate. All the best. Look out for some clipped coverage from those interviews on BBC Radio Surrey Sport Twitter. Probably not until at some point tomorrow. And most of the supporters are gone now. TV camera crews over the far side and the near side. I think Tommy Widrington probably is already over there, isn't he? Enjoying every minute of this. A word for the Shots pod, which is in its 4th episode now. Thoroughly enjoyed being a guest on it a couple of weeks ago. There's a great one with Jamie Hedges that's out there now to view. And I think on Tuesday you'll see one with Tommy Widrington, who has appeared with Howard and his son Liam. So look out for that one. And it'd be nice for them, like it was for me a couple of weeks ago, to go out on the back of a winning game as opposed to Tuesday night. And I know you weren't here. And having watched that performance, Steve, you must have been scratching your head a bit about what happened on Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's just the typical Aldershot Town roller coaster. You're never quite sure what you're going to get, but when it's good, by heck, it's good, and you can
quote a northern phrase there.
Yeah, you can withstand accept almost the odd night where it goes wrong, because this is a work in progress. They are young players. It's still the second youngest squad in the entire National League, and it's only about a month or two ahead of the youngest squad, which is Wealdstone. And these players are all finding their way in the professional game. In some instances it's their first season as a regular professional player, but they're showing maturity and ability beyond their years. And whether it's with Aldershot Town, and we all hope that the majority of this squad will stay beyond this season, but wherever they ply their trade in future and plough their furrows and forge their careers, you're going to look on with pride. Some players go on and you think, well, yeah, they were okay, but they didn't really pull up any trees. But these players will move on with the best wishes of every single supporter who has watched them play, and with a good deal of pride and emotion as well, to say, yeah, I remember them when they wore the red and blue with great distinction. And yeah, players come and go. Tommy Widrington will build another team. He will replace players that move on, but collectively and individually, this squad is doing the club proud this season.
Thank you very much, Steve Gibbs. Great to have you back in the chair. I think your job's safe.
Great to be back. I'll see you Tuesday.
I think your job's safe for now. Obviously, I needed to measure the performances.
Is that the dreaded vote of confidence?
Freddie and yourself, and it got nothing to do with your performance, just the scorelines. And sorry, Freddie. But Freddie will, of course, join us again.
It's better to be a lucky summariser than a good summariser.
Ollie, please. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Just telling Sam Carter, the Shots media manager, that we'd like to speak to Ollie Harfield. Keith Deere again on the growing female fan base of Steve Gibbs. Is he now considering doing Love Island?
Growing. It's very definitely
doubled, isn't it?
A queue of one. And it's not even a queue. It's if I'm going to end this answer right here before I get myself into trouble. But yeah, I think my female fan base, such as you might call it, begins and ends with my infinitely better half, Christina.
Love means nothing.
Thank you, David. Right, okay. We're going to switch our microphones off now. You'll hear one in the background, just so that you know that we're still on air at the moment until the line's shut down. I can tell you that Tommy Widrington is currently finishing his interview with TNT Sports on the far side, and Phil Parkinson is just a few steps down from Steve and myself doing the lesser populated losing managers interview that no manager wants to do any week, let alone when they've lost the game.
I just wanted to, he asked me to leave my number with him when I did catch up. I have been back. I live over in St. Martin's Way. want to leave my number. That way, if you ever need someone, I'm here if you need me.
Well, he'll be picking up on us. See where Brian went.
I think he shot off. Right, maybe someone else is doing the post-match. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just something, you know, just an extra person to help with.
Indeed, yes. Much appreciated.
I've been trying to volunteer. I used to be response team security years and years and years ago, and I tend to I happily volunteer, but I put you down even though I hadn't even volunteered. Have stewards. We have stewards that do it.
No, it's all right. I did vaguely remember you saying you were pulling back that time, and Rob did it.
I'm quite active in that anyway.
Where's your tan, Steve?
Yeah, it's just been telling me that I've had one.
No, I haven't even seen you, to be fair.
Well, have a word with Chris.
Yeah, no
He
worries.
might be interested in
Anything, just anything.
someone that can help out on a match day.
Yes.
Anything I can
Yeah.
do.
Especially if you're only
I live literally
stone's throw away.
7 away. Yeah. Well, when the news come out of the frost cones, I thought, well, let me want to probably jump on Saturday night. Can't be doing the early Sunday morning when everyone's dead. So you know that you get 30 people that do it that night, and then 6 people that turn up on the Sunday. Okay.
Go on, get yourself down the front.
Yeah. I'll, as soon as they see me, they'll be like, hello, mate.
Chris! Chris!
No.
Do you want to do that stuff again?
Yes,
Tuesday?
Yeah, that would be great. Actually.
Pajamas, mate, innit?
I think I'll be driving on Tuesday.
Okay. Hopefully we'll see you.
Yeah, well, as and when you need me, mate.
Yes, thank you, mate.
I tell you what, the contrast between the other night and tonight, which is chalk and cheese,
But I think, to be fair, it was looked more balanced and more disciplined.
Absolutely, much more balanced.
But it wasn't an ocean difference. Some, things
faster,
went the right
quicker.
way. We got the first goal. All these little things made
Yeah.
a difference.
Well, actually, we could have had two before that, I thought.
Yeah.
It just seemed so sharp tonight, and the other night they looked second to everything, and sometimes third.
That's a good side they've been.
Sometimes, absolutely.
Best suit on for the TV cameras. I don't know why they're doing the second interview.
Strange, isn't it?
It's a bit odd, isn't it?
Roughly how long do you think you'll be before you're packing up?
Probably 15 minutes, I would imagine. By Tommy and borrow your pen, please? Make sure you bring it back to take photos for you that time. Why? Because it's got all the colours. It's got red and blue. But it says a present. Scummy things. Sit on the sofa with dog. Right.
Don't take anything from
Just
him,
stand back
Tommy.
a little bit if you can.
Don't take anything from him.
Just testing sound effects microphone level for post-match interview with Tommy Widrington.
Thank you so
That's all right.
It's a great honour to borrow.
Yes, don't be making off with my pen that's got red and blue on it. All right, see you later. Well done.
Cheers, Rob.
Good stuff. Okay, now at the point to do his 75th post-match interview is Aldershot Town manager Tommy Widrington. Tommy, on the final whistle today, I summed up, possibly given everything, given Tuesday, given the opposition, and just given the way this team needed to respond, possibly the most complete performance of the season, start to finish. What would you think?
I'd have to agree, almost. Yeah, I mean, I think we could have scored more goals. I thought we fashioned some really good chances in the first half. And had we gone in at 0-0, I would have had a tinge of disappointment about that. So I was really pleased that we got the couple of goals. But the way the lads on the pitch managed themselves and the game in the second half, because to be fair to Phil, they swapped a couple of things and they changed their plan, if you like, and we had to then match that, and you know they had us on the back foot a little bit in the last 10 minutes or so, but I think by then we'd seen them in threat off, and I can't remember Geordie making too many saves, to be honest with you. A couple in the first minute, and then there was a shot flashed across the goal. But yeah, I'm delighted. Like I said, look, I think I know these players as well as I'm ever going to know them now, in terms of the time I've spent with most of them, and we know the dynamics of each and every pairing, every unit, and then when you put them together, the 11, and I think we had more legs in that team than we probably had for a little while, and that's in mobility, and that was huge, because we knew we were going to spend 40-50% of the game without the ball, and you need to have the energy when you get back on it to play at the pace that we do. So yeah, I'm really pleased.
So we're talking about being a complete performance. We're not going to talk about individuals today, and the reason being, absolutely everybody in that team was deserved of their place, wasn't he? And one of the things is, with TNT Sports and Steve alongside myself, and also the official sponsors, came up with 4 different man of the matches, and that kind of sums it up, doesn't it?
I think that's great. I genuinely wouldn't give a man of the match performance today, mate. I don't think anybody was outstandingly better than the next guy. I thought it was a complete, and I mean this, even the lads who didn't get on the pitch, you can't hear it from where you are, but the support and the positive comments I'm hearing from behind me with the lads who didn't even get on is excellent. The lads who come off are chatting about, it's a little bit different to what you're seeing from you. And I just think the group, they've done it every time we've had a disappointment, whether that be whether we've lost unfortunately or we've been really punched in the face like we were on Tuesday night. They've always responded within a game or two, and I had no doubt about that. I think to pay the East Bank and the rest of the fans who stayed on Tuesday night when the inevitable was going to happen. We knew we were going to get beat. Once half time come, it was about how many it was going to be. We clung in there and we kept going. But I just felt that pays a little bit back to the hardy souls that stayed in here on Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's a decent crowd given the game, given the filthy conditions, what happened on Tuesday. And of course the fact that the game was on TV and some people could have sat comfortable at home. But we move on quickly. You've tested yourself against the side in 4th place today, and on Tuesday you've got to crank it up again against Barnet.
Yeah, I mean they've had a great result. I've just heard there up at Fylde, so look, it was a tough game at Barnet. We were edged out by the odd goal in 3, same as we were at Altrincham. So let's hope we can turn that around. But look, I mean, we'll approach the game. We'll have a look at how the lads return to train on Monday, see how they are tomorrow in terms of their wellness and their health. But look, it's given me really good food for thought. I'm very well aware where I want to go with this group of players, and I'm very well aware which group of players I want to be here for the longer term. But that was like you said, almost a complete performance.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Tommy. All the best.
One more from me, Tom, if that's okay. Yeah, complete performance on the pitch, but it seemed like the game plan, the tactics of particularly of pressing Altrincham because they like to play out from the back. That worked a treat as well.
Yeah, and I think you need the people who can deliver that for longest needed to be on the pitch from the beginning of the game. And I thought I would pat myself on the back. That's what we got right, you know. And you know, like I said, there was a bit more mobility and energy I felt in the team, and that's probably because of the response to the game on Tuesday night. So, like I said, I don't want to single any one of them out because I do genuinely think, to a man, they're all 8s and 9s out of 10s.
I would agree.
Okay.
Thank you very much.